You are now tuned into the Boxing Bros. I am Caden. I'm here with my co-host.
What's going on, everybody? It's the Commissioner, Trill Dollar Bill.
This is G.
And it's your boy, the TVE. What up, world?
All right, man. I see a lot of you in the comment section. We appreciate you being here. We're going to just kick it for a little bit, but we're not going to dive right into it. Let's let people get in here. All right. So get in the comment section. Say what's up. Say where you're from. I see some of you already coming here with the smoke. All right. Let's run through some of these comments. Salute to JM. He said he always knew that Crawford was levels above TC. Oh yeah. He said he's not a boxing expert by any stretch. He said, I'm not on Trill and Caden's level yet, but to me, it looked like Crawford had too much in the back pocket. He had too much in every pocket. All right, we can move on to LDBC on suicide watch. All right. I'm just not trying to hear excuses. T. Lawson, will you let us know when we make some? My man said, who's that? Ian Kit, Tawari. First, Inoue beat the ish out of Fulton, then Crawford beat the ish out of Spence. LDBC supporters.
Well, you see that?
Crying, laughing emojis.
Brinkley the dog. Crawford was amazing. What a masterclass. What'd you say, Ned?
There go our leg.
Who?
One of our biggest TC supporters on the in the comment section.
She in here for real?
She's here. She's right there.
She's back. Oh, snap. Yeah, I haven't seen her in a grip. You know what I'm saying? What's good, Arlette?
Yeah. She don't get no love.
What are you talking about? She don't get no hate. It's not that deep.
No love or no hate. Please disappear, pop up, say something funny.
Hold on. Wait, go to I don't want to put it on the screen, but I'll acknowledge Andrew says B ends be crying, got to the bag last night, stand up Omaha. I would like for that person to elaborate a little more. Who's crying? But let's see.
She said, bye, haters.
Why show up? We didn't come looking for you. You came here.
Oh, man.
You know what I mean? Go back to wherever you've been. So Afro
to the champ in Japan. What's going on with you?
Oh, salute to Japan in the house. Afro Soul, I always saw it as an emotional pick. The eye test was there for everyone to see that Crawford is clearly the better fighter, and PBC knew. All right. And my man with the long Roman numeral numbers, starting with XX1, said, damn, people already here and waiting to roast of Caden, huh? Hey, man, come on by. Sir Oku, I think that's how he says his name. That's the homie. He's always here showing love. He said, come, you can't roast Caden, man. It was only his opinion. Let them come, man. This is what we do this for. This is fun. You're supposed to have fun with the sport. Tell G to run the 3-piece with Ned, Miguel Vasquez. G. Someone's calling for the trilogy, G.
I'm all set, man. I'm all set. Ned can have it. Mm-hmm.
HB said the strand of bud was too strong for Spence.
That's a fact.
We got Irish Boxing Bro in the building. Salute.
Yeah.
Irish Boxing Bro says, "What's up, bros? Bud different," with the emoji face. We got David Nicholas saying Caden needs to put some major respect on TC's name. No more animosity. You have animosity towards me. All I ever said was my opinion. Sam Greer Crawford Day. Yo, Vic has a question for you, G. Vic said, so is G23 over now?
Man, listen, man. Let me explain something. Yo, look, all right. Listen, hey. I know people ain't gonna believe this, but my G23 picks were based upon the bets that I made with Ned. We bet on probably 5 or 6 fights, you know, and so this wasn't one of them because I was like, it's just 50-50. I don't even want to make a prediction for this fight, you know, but because of the show, I was like, hey, you know what? I'll do my prediction, but I didn't want it a part of the G23. And I know people may not believe me, but I promise you, I told these fellas that already. So, but it is what it is, man. G23 is over. It's cool. As long as Wilder violates AJ at the end of the year.
That's really what G23 was about from the start.
That's a fact. So it is what it is. I'll take this L. It's cool. You know, it's whatever. Matter of fact, I think this is my first L for the year so far. So
no, it's not.
Yes, it is for 23.
Bro, you picked Franklin to beat
Anthony Joshua. Hold on, wait a minute. That wasn't even.
Bro, you have like 3 L's.
Y'all know that. Y'all know that. So what y'all talking about?
None of it.
Because G23 came after that anyway. So what y'all talking about?
Yo, I told you, G. You're like a shorty who goes on vacation, like that body didn't count. It was in another country.
It don't. It don't. You know what I'm saying? There ain't no witnesses. It don't count.
Hold on, let me check. So that was Bud's easiest fight. That's what Flooded said.
Oh, salute to my man over here recommending our YouTube page, man, on Facebook, man. That's dope.
Respect to you, man, because so many people come in, they don't even like the video, they watch the video. Or like some people you just see, they can't handle a healthy debate, so they run away and then they come back when they feel like they won the debate or something. You know what I mean? Like, but never do anything. So we appreciate that.
Hey, listen, Eunuch or Enoch, whatever. I know this. I'm used to taking L's on this show, son. So it's like for me, like y'all ain't gonna get no excuses for me. If my fighter loses, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, go to Andre Ward's freshly licked lips for a second. Yo, it probably tastes like Andre Ward's lips. You know what I'm saying? It probably tastes like Andre Ward's lips. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a wild name, yo. I'm sorry.
See, every time, every week he gets this show. That name's hilarious, man.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, support the bros, man. Hit that like button, everyone. We appreciate it.
All right. Oh, we good. We got 94 people in the house. Hold on. Let's get this. We about to get this show lined up. LaFez, man. See, here goes another one. I haven't seen this dude in a minute, but I know he was a TC guy. So if you came here because TC won, welcome back, brother. We about to hop into that TC stuff. There go my man Pterodactyl. He showed love, hate, and everything in between.
It's a real one.
That's my dog.
Salute.
I was boxing bro in the
I'm
building.
gonna tell you why I like Pterodactyl too, because whether we agree or disagree, just give your opinion. It is what it is. You know what I mean? It's nothing personal. He understands that. You know what I mean? We just chopping it up. Oh, Mr. T in the building.
Yo, the way AJ moving, I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, G, I found your burner account. Remember that for later on in this show.
Oh, word.
I found your burner account. Remember that for later on in the show.
All right.
Yo, word. Hold on. Go to Miguel Vasquez real quick. What song you coming out to? Is it off the Brothers album? Is that Caden and Trills? Mr. T, you didn't waste no time.
Kaden. I thought you wasn't Phantom, man.
What?
I thought you wasn't Phantom, man.
I said Phantom and Trills. You heard me, cuz. I said, is it that Phantom and Trills? What? You thought you caught something, didn't you, brother? That's why I asked you. Yo, come on, man. Hey, yo, Ned, yo, keep chilling, brother.
Yo, hold on. Yo, did I panic with my prediction? Like, I don't remember talking trash. That was Ned that jumped out the window. I was just there. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy.
Yo, man. Yo.
Hey, it is what it is, man. Yo, you win some, you lose.
Like watching
we about to set up. We about to.
You win some, you lose some, brother.
We about to jump into this we about to jump into this. I'm gonna keep it $150 real quick. Before we jump in, so I'm loading this up. I want to say this on some real stuff. The beauty of boxing for me is moments like last night, where there's a big fight. It's 50-50, at least going in your mind. You have people on one side of the fence. You have people on the other side of the fence, right? But in the end, you get a great night. To everyone who's been watching the Boxing Bros, who picked TC from the jump, who called it the way it happened, salute to y'all. Y'all saw it the right way. You had it right. We're not taking that away from you. Today, what we're about to do is we're about to chop it up. We're about to have a discussion, and we're about to get it popping. So if y'all can say anything y'all got to say before we begin, but we're about to get it in. All right, so the first topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros is TC fried the big fish. Yes, it was a one-sided ass whooping, but it wasn't the one-sided ass whooping that was promised to us by Errol Spence. So I know a lot of you TC fans are back here, and every
he said you're back here.
because they've been going in quiet for a long time. And if Earl would have won, they wouldn't have showed up. But they're here because every TC fan in the world feels like Lil Boosie did last night. Let's take a look at Lil Boosie.
Man, oh my heart in a blast. That nigga was listening to Boosie before he put on them gloves. He let Boosie walk him out to the fight on HBO. Told you, nigga. Pay me my ducats. Boy, Bud bad, man. Heart of a lion. All my niggas went against you, Bud. Look at this nigga over here. This nigga looking like a pay me my ducats. I told y'all. Pay me.
That's what every TC fan is in here like right now. And it's all good. Omaha, Nebraska. All right. I'm starting it off with Trill Dollar Bill. What was your reaction to that fight?
It was a good fight. What he had last night, stew fish. You know what I'm saying? He had some stew fish, Crawford had stew fish. Great fight. You know, great fight. I'm just gonna get it all out right now. You know what I'm saying? Look, I thought that right off the rip, I thought that when they cut to EJ in the back, I thought he was already smoking bud. When I see him, he already looked like him before the fight even started. Like, you know what I'm saying? Look, like I said to the guys before, I'm just gonna get it out. Matter of fact, before I do that, let me just say I wrote some stuff down when I was watching the fight after the second round. I was like, great strong jab, laser-like straight left hand, and great accuracy and counter punch from Crawford. He was stronger and faster, showed his experience in this fight. He looked like the bigger guy. Errol seemed slow and rocked by every shot, and it seemed like he didn't have nothing on his punches. TC was too sharp last night. Congratulations to Terence Crawford. Well deserved. Like I said it. Yeah, like being honest, you know what I'm saying? I thought I said it was going to be a 50-50 fight. I thought it would be a draw. I see, it was crazy because right when I was like EJ, I said EJ looked nice already, you know what I'm saying? And then I was like, it's going down when I seen TC come out with M. I was like, oh man, he brought 8 man with him, you know. But it was a good fight. Shout outs to TC, no excuses. But like I was telling the bros, I'm not gonna hold nothing back. I'm gonna keep it 100. You know what I'm saying? Like I was telling the bros, see, this is why no excuses. You know what I'm saying? And I seen this. I seen as soon as the bell rung, and the first punch was swung. When I seen EJ land the punch, I said, this is what happens when you stick around at 147 for too long. His punches looked like they had nothing on it. Every time he looked like he got hit with something, he would move. Even if it was a little shove of the shoulder, he was flying across. I heard him saying about his legs wasn't there. But like I said, there's no excuses. You shouldn't have signed up for the fight, if you wasn't 100% or whatever, how you said you was or whatever. But because nobody's forgiving. Boxing is not forgiving at all, But shout out to TC. He had all the tools. Everything was on display, and he did his thing. So I want to see what's next.
All right, I want to say salute to Miguel Vasquez. What card on pay-per-view? And turn over to you, G.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest with when Eminem walking out TC, I thought it was kind of lame for the simple fact that Eminem came out but didn't rap his verse. I was like, yo, what? Like
they didn't pay him for that. They didn't pay him for that.
Yo, facts.
Word, he didn't pay him for that, dog.
Halfway through, like he got like halfway to the ring, then M's trying to fade away. I'm like, yo, come on, fam. I'm like, yo, did they really not have a budget for Eminem or something? You know what I mean? So that's whatever. But his outfit was fire. I like the fishnet thing. That was pretty creative, But in regards to the fight, man, I read it wrong, completely wrong, obviously. My man, I kind of have to agree with Trill. Spence just seemed too flat. Like, it's one thing, like, TC was just, like, his timing was better. He was faster. He was stronger. Like, he was pressing the action. Like, it was just everything he was doing perfect. But the Spence that we know just wasn't there. It's like I don't know, man. It just seemed like Spence treated this like it was just another day in the office. But I'm like, you're going up against TC, bro. Like, so I'm thinking maybe he overtrained, during camp. And so that overtraining just played its toll on his body, And so it's just unfortunate, man. But I will say this, though. After the fight, salute to both gentlemen. I like the fact that Spence had no excuses. He gave nothing but praise to TC. And I like the fact that TC showed nothing but love. And in the post, like the conference, like the only negative thing that TC said was in regards to Ellie's setback. But outside of that, it was all love. Like, we got
that as a topic, bro.
Yeah, Bo Mack showed love. Derek James showed love. It was just like like, because to me, it was like, I'm not gonna lie, yo, I was really hurt for Spence because I was like, it's one thing to lose, but to lose like this, nah, bro, that was bad, So it was, like everybody saying like, yo, like stew fish and all that. Yeah, bro, like, you talking about you the shark. That wasn't shark activity in there, bro. That was like red snapper. You know what I'm saying? Like
Red snapper.
He was getting violated, bro. Like he was getting like it was, man, listen, man. Like honestly, like he took a worse beating than what Wilder had to endure when he fought Fury. You know what I'm saying? Like both were horrible, but this was bad. And I was like, man, because he didn't land nothing, not one shot, nothing. Like, so it was just a one-sided beating. Like literally, this is one of the very few fights where I had the scorecard exactly the same, like the commentator on Showtime. You know what I'm saying? Like, I gave Spence round 1, and that was it. And after that was just punishment. You getting 7-10 rounds, bro. Like, that's when I was like, yo, come on, bro. Like, even with the first knockdown, I was like, it looked like his feet placement. It looked kind of like a slip almost. I was like, I'm not really nervous about that. I was like, it's whatever. But I forgot which round it was. When he got dropped twice, that's when I was like, oh, man, this ain't looking too good. And I'm even contemplating in my mind. I'm like, yo, are they going to, like, call this fight? And I was like, yo, because I know Spence's ego, like, I'm not going to say ego, but he's so brave for his own self.
He was smiling in there.
No,
he was smiling because of the barrier.
He would have died in there. He would have literally died in there.
You heard him when he said in the corner, he was like, my legs just ain't there. It was after the third race, and my legs ain't there.
So it's one of those things, man. Like, TC, he showed a lot for me. Like, I like both gentlemen, but I didn't think he had this in him. I didn't know. I was thinking, all right, Spence is like he's consistent and he always applies the pressure. I knew it was real when he started applying pressure. TC still was countering. The next thing I know, I started seeing Spence trying to fight off the back foot. I said, this ain't Spence. What's going on here? You know what I mean? So I'm like, all right, he just can't see them punches, bro. It was literally like you could tell he couldn't even see the punches. Like, TC beat him with speed, with timing. It was just bad, man. So salute to both gentlemen. But yeah, yo, I ain't gonna front. I blame Ned for this, man. Ned cursed us.
I wanted to add something that you said. I wanted to applaud something that you said, G. Yo, shout out to Errol Spence, right? Because any other fighter, right? And most of the people talking Greasley, right? Would have tucked their tail behind their legs and would have tried to get up out of there. Mm-hmm. Earl was still trying. Even when the ref stopped it, he wanted to go out on his shell. He was still trying to fight and everything. You know what I mean? So shout out to Errol Spence. You know what I'm saying? It was a great fight. If you picked TC to win, congratulations to you. Don't be acting like you beat us in the fight. You know what I'm saying?
Don't act like you beat us in the
fight. You know what I'm saying? But shout outs to both gentlemen and shout out to Earl for not you know what I'm saying, being a coward. We done seen a lot of people coward their way out of the ring and do some weird stuff to get up out of the fight. He still was in there trying to, you know what I'm saying, do whatever he can do. So shout out to Earl.
There are a few things. G, if you can, please highlight Rachel. Rachel's in the building. Salute Rachel. A day one who always shows up when she can. Salute to you. Rachel said, afternoon, all TC came with the fishing net out the gate. Yeah,
that's a fact.
Yeah, that was dope. I'm not gonna lie. When I saw that, I was like, yo, that's fire. TC came prepared and focused. All right, so another one I want you to go on. I think it's an Afro Soul. Yeah, he said Earl got beat worse than all of Crawford's opponents at 147. And so that's a great point. And I'm gonna touch on that at some point. All right. And oh yeah, Jungle Jams is in the building from Japan. Salute to Jungle Jams. Always shout out. All right, so Ned, the TBE. Check this out, brother. Your prediction, you know what I'm saying, was what it was. What was your reaction to the fight?
Hey man, I foreshadowed, but in the wrong for the wrong fighter. You know, I said TC was gonna get washed. It's gonna be a landslide after the 4th round for Errol Spence. I can admit when I'm wrong. I can admit when I'm wrong. And to be honest, somebody said it was a 10 out of 10. That first round was a toss-up, and I honestly could say TC like beat him all 10 rounds. Like, and it was bad, yo. I didn't expect that. Yo. I had people call me like, yo, who should I put my money on? I was like, Spence, yo. Spence got it.
Put that Mr. T comment up, G.
I'm like, Spence got it, hands down.
Nah, the other one. Sorry, Ned.
Oh, man, I gotta find it.
It says Ned is the new Jinx.
Yeah. Wilder got it worse in that second fight than Spence got it last night. Wilder got the brakes beat off him by Fury in that second fight.
Nah, but at least Wilder dropped Fury though on that. Oh no, was it? No, you're right.
Not the second fight.
Beat off
I'm thinking about the third fight. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I don't know what Spence's game plan was. Like, yo, it seemed like he was testing the waters, and then he just kept getting counted. He tried everything he was trying. TC he looked like he was fighting in water while TC was fighting in, like, I don't know, with zero gravity, bro. It was just like, and TC was just so quick, clean, connected with his and Spence couldn't do anything, yo. And I'm just like, I can't believe it, man. I can't believe it. But hey, it happens. Hopefully, my man can bounce back from this. It's not over. It's just a learning lesson. I don't know what he did to prepare. I don't know if he was just a little too arrogant, because during the press conference, you know, he was doing most of it. He had all the comebacks for TC and everything. But shout out to TC. I take my hat off to you. You finally proved that why you number one pound for pound. I respect it.
Look, my man MD. My man MD. That's how I was. That's how he looked to me. Also, MD, man, I seen your shark fin soup comment. Shark fin soup. We don't like shark fin soup. It's been Shark Week. You know what I'm saying? You know what they do to the sharks when they had shark fin soup. So I'm not with the shark fin soup.
It is Shark Week, man. Trill loves Shark Week, man.
For real.
Like every year, this dude be like, "Yo, you know what Shark Week, right?" Okay.
Now I ain't gonna see me.
What Rachel said, Team TC looked like they didn't get out of phase 1 of their game plan. Spence tried to act like the stronger man, and he got pushed back. Yes, that is a great observation from Rachel. Now, listen, I want to start off by saying this because it's very important to me. Of all the things people say about me, I am okay with it because, again, we do this show, and part of doing this show is people are going to take their shots at you. But one thing I said that I meant was both sides need to come together and get behind the winner. Pause. But both sides, if you're Team Spence and your Team Crawford, once this fight is over, you need to support the winner of this fight and push the winner of this fight because it's very important to the sport of boxing, but also for creating a superstar. So Terence Crawford won. To me, there are no excuses. I've seen some that are being made for Errol Spence. I don't want to hear it. Errol signed the contract. He knew what was up. He knew he's been draining himself for, 12 years to make welterweight? He knew that going in. He knew he was inactive going in. He knew all the things he had been through going into that fight. I don't want to hear any excuses. So one of the things that I want to say is, for me, I am definitely supporting Terence Bud Crawford moving forward. I am a fan of boxing. I fell in love with the sport of boxing. And years ago, I've been through this, where I thought a fighter was going to win. Trinidad versus Bernard Hopkins, for example. I was rooting for Trinidad. And Bernard Hopkins beat Trinidad. And I was devastated because Trinidad was one of my favorite fighters. But then I thought to myself, well, what's wrong with B-Hop? I started watching B-Hop's fights, seeing the greatness of B-Hop. And you know what? Trinidad was great, and so was B-Hop, right? So that can happen in the sport of boxing. So for me, it's important that if you're a TC fan or you're an Earl fan, you support TC now. Because if you thought Earl was good and you thought Earl was nice, you saw what just happened. You saw TC just dominated that man. So now you got to support TC. Well, you don't got to support TC. You can be a hater. You can be upset. You can try to downplay what you saw. You can make excuses about what you saw. But in the end, it's not going to change the outcome. So that's the first thing I want to get out there is for me, right? You got to support TC. And I think it's important for the sport. Now we can get to the fight. The fight was nothing like I expected. I didn't expect Errol Spence to go out there and try to outbox Terence Crawford. See, this is the problem. Remember, and G, you brought this up. When they say Spence can't outbox Mikey Garcia, he wants to outbox Mikey Garcia. When they say he can't bang with Danny Garcia, he wants to prove that he can get in there and slug it out with Danny Garcia. Well, what ends up happening? When you do that, eventually you're going to fall victim. He goes in there with Terence Crawford and he tries to box with Terence Crawford. It's not the way that I saw it happening. The way I saw was Earl going in there trying to impose his will, trying to put his weight on him, throwing combinations, trying to force TC to push his pace and not allowing him to be comfortable. But he allowed TC to be comfortable and TC straight dominated. You saw it. TC controlled it with the jab, controlled distance, switch angles. When Earl tried to punch, TC beat him to the punch. Better timing, beautiful punch placement. When you look at the way TC was placing those punches, it's amazing. Like TC was like, when he was showing it, he was like, yeah, and I hit him right on the ear to throw off his equilibrium. Like TC's telling you, like he saw it, and then as he's saying it, you see him turning the punch, right? So that right there shows that TC was levels above. And as Rachel and several other people pointed out in the comment section, Errol Spence only fought one way. Where was his plan B? He never switched it up. He kept doing the same things. It got to the point where we all knew the end was coming. It was just when, and at some point it got really bad watching the fight because you just saw that he was breaking Earl down. And if Harvey Dock didn't jump in to stop it, it would have been a massacre because Earl was definitely going to go out on his shield, and what good would that have done for the sport of boxing? So before we move on to the next topic, I want to say this. Salute to Errol Spence Jr. because he made the fight happen. And for everyone, I'm not a part of that argument, PBC, across the street. I don't care about that. You've heard me talk about The Zone and Eddie Hearn. You've heard me talk about Bob Arum and ESPN. You heard me talk about every PBC and Al Heyman. I talk trash about every promoter because I think all promoters got shadiness in them. But Errol Spence was supposed to fight what's his name? Thurman. He was supposed to fight Thurman, but it was actually Spence who said, no, I want the challenge. I want to fight TC. Let's get me the TC fight. And it was to his own demise, but at least he wanted the challenge. And you got to respect that because that's what makes greatness. And Earl had to be willing to take that risk. He took that risk. He got lumped up for it, but at least he knows when he goes to sleep at night, he knows his level and he knows what's up. All right. So now we can move. I love this. Go back real quick. Put Arlette on the screen real quick, please. Because once I say this, anyone who follows this show is going to know that it's true. She says, stop. You accuse TC of ducking and compare TC to Wilder. Now put that on the screen.
I'm trying to find where you see that at.
Oh, well, I see it on my screen. It's fine. Tell me I'm lying. I said that TC should accept 40% and Errol Spence is the A side. That's what I said. And I said when he refused to accept 40%, which was reasonable, he's the reason why the fight didn't happen. I said if TC knew what he was doing, TC would accept the 3-fight deal with PBC where he got 40% in the first fight, And then he would beat Errol Spence. If he really thinks he can beat Errol Spence, then he would become the man, and then he can call all the shots. Let's fast forward to what happened last night. Errol Spence signed a 3-fight deal with PBC where he wasn't the A side and he took less money. Spence was the A side. He just dominated Spence, and now he's in the driver's seat. So in order to make the fight happen, he did exactly what I said he needed to do. So tell me why I was wrong, Arlette, and don't disappear like you did for the last few years. All right. We can move on to the next topic.
All right, it's TC #1 pound for pound.
All right, so the next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros is TC #1 pound for pound. All right, so we're going to show this tweet from Michael Benson. I don't even know if it's a tweet anymore. What is it? It's an X? What is this, X clip?
Bro, you know what's funny? I thought my Twitter got deleted from my phone. I was like, yeah, I can't find it.
I was refreshing my page. I thought they was telling me that I needed to refresh my page.
I was bugging it.
You see what happens when people can't respond with facts? They try to make it personal. I simply asked everything I said that needed to happen for TC to get the Errol Spence fight happened. So nothing I said was inaccurate. He did everything I said. In fact, I probably wrote the book for TC to get the fight. All right, so now we're going to take a look at this tweet. Terence Crawford asked if he's now surpassed Naoya Inoue to become boxing's #1 pound for pound today. Without a doubt, this was two fighters who are in the top 5 of the pound for pound rankings. How can I not be #1 pound for pound? So that's TC responding to being asked if he's now surpassed Inoue. I'm turning it over to you, G. What's your reaction? Do you think that Terence Bud Crawford is now the #1 pound for pound?
Yeah, he has to be the #1 pound for pound. Like, he beat Spence. Spence was like probably what, like ranked maybe like 5, 4. Usually on the pound for pound list. You know what I mean? Like, Fulton was never like on the pound for pound list. You know what I mean? So, although Inoue's performance was impressive, you know, like TC did it against another pound for pound fighter. So you got to bump him up to #1, you know. So, yeah, I don't see how people can make an argument that Inoue should be above TC. That doesn't make sense to me, you know. So, like, and not to mention, like, TC's class, like the 147, has more like competitive opposition, you know. So, like, Inoue just came up to that weight class, and I don't know. I wasn't really impressed by Fulton, to be honest. So, like, I have to say that TC definitely deserves to be #1 pound for pound.
All right, I'm turning it over to you, Trill Dollar Bill.
Oh, hold on. Can I just clarify? Wait a minute. I didn't say Inoue wasn't on the pound for pound list. I'm saying that he shouldn't be #1 above Spence. I mean, above Crawford. That's what I was making the argument. You know, I was saying
you're saying Inoue should be #1 or Crawford should be #1.
No, Crawford should be #1.
Okay.
But Irish Boston Bro saying that I guess I said that Inoue shouldn't be on the list at all. No. Inoue's on the list.
He said you got 78 sports pound for pound list. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yo, listen, what is going on with this? Y'all thinking I'm a PBC plant or something? Right?
Yo, he coming at you like you 78 sports, guys.
Oh man, this is crazy, man. What up, Leo? All right.
You good? You got Dollar Bill, you didn't give your list. All right, you didn't say you got #1, right?
Until September, right now, I got TC until September 30th. I got TC, and then I got my man. Y'all know I got my man Saul. I got Charlo. I got Inoue. I got Devin. You know, those right there. That's the top 5 right there. You can talk about for pound right there. You know, you can throw some other guys in there like the Better Beeves and you know. But yeah. I got TC right now until September 30th.
All right, Ned the TBE. I'm curious to hear what you have TC right now.
Nah, I give him that for it's the next. His performance was amazing last night, and we've been waiting for this Spence and TC fight for the longest, and now that it's happened, before ESPN or a lot of not every source, but ESPN had him ranked number 1 pound for fight, and I knocked it, but now I think he deserves that till we get that Canelo Charlo fight, and then that's where he goes down to number 2, or it depends on that performance. And then we'll see who's the next number 1 pound for pound fighter. But he got the spot right now. He got it.
I want to say this, and I want to make this clear. Last night was very important because remember I said I'll get back to the comment we saw. Someone said this was Terence Crawford's easiest fight. That's what I saw. And it really did look that way. This is what happens when the best fight the best. Someone is forced to raise their level. Like, you can see how shocked TC was. TC knew going into this fight, his legacy was on the line. TC knew how important this fight was. And so what we got to see was the absolute best version of TC. When we watched the fights with Gamboa, when we watched the fights with Kavaliauskas, and even his fight with David Avanesian, right? TC got caught with some punches because he knew he could. Because he wasn't really worried about those guys. In the end, TC knew he can turn it on whenever he wanted to. Even with Sean Porter, when he went back to his corner and they were like, yo, you're down. Bud was like, what? They was like, you're down. And Bud was like, oh, okay, say less. And then he just ended the fight. But in this fight, he didn't want to take any chances. He knew he had to be sharp the entire time, right? So once the fight started, when the bell sounded, I'll tell you when I knew the fight was over. I knew the fight was over after round 3. After round 3, I said, there's nothing Spence can do, and Crawford hasn't even gone to the bag yet. And then Crawford started opening up, and then Crawford started just doing them in. But it took an opponent like Errol Spence to show that TC was levels above. We were never going to get to see that TC was levels above unless he was in a ring with a guy like Errol Spence. And because he spent years at Top Rank, we never got to see him in there with the Danny Garcias. We never really got to see him in there with the Sean Porters. And although I like Sean Porter and I respect Sean Porter, it didn't help that when he got Sean Porter was ready to retire. So we didn't know if it was really the Sean Porter that we were accustomed to seeing, right? So what ended up happening last night was we all got to see TC on full display against a guy no one could discredit for undisputed, and he looked marvelous. He turned in his best performance because that's what legends do. That's what Floyd did. Floyd's done it several times. That's what Floyd did against Canelo. It's what Floyd did against Manny Pacquiao. It's what Errol Spence did what TC did against Errol Spence. He made it look effortless. He made it look flawless. TC left no debate in anyone's mind. Like, no one can sit here today, although I heard some people. Now, you want to know who's a fanboy? I heard some people saying they had Errol Spence up at the time of the stoppage. If someone says that, that's a fanboy. There's no way. Round 1 is debatable that you could give to Earl, and that's it, right?
Earl was up on 4 by 4 rounds.
Earl was up at the time of the stoppage, and the ref jumped in
jumped in too soon because he was on the comeback.
You know what I'm saying? No, they said that was Ned. They said that was Ned. That was Ned's scorecard. Yeah. So for real. So for me, it's actually when you get those type of opponents, it's like you go to another level. It's like your senses are heightened and you understand what's in front of you. And we needed Errol Spence to bring out that TC, and we saw that TC. And one thing I want to point out to everyone, just to close with this, because I think this is very important. Getting and supporting the winner is important, and I'm gonna tell you why I think it's important. Look at how TC and Earl interacted with each other. TC went after one of Earl's entourage who was running his mouth, but he never disrespected Earl. When Earl said, when you going to thank me for making this fight? TC said, we can thank each other. And he said, we're going to make history. And then Earl said, we're going to make bank. when TC dropped Earl, he talked trash to Jermell saying, you next, right? But he never talked trash to Earl. He went to Earl and said, you a great fighter. Don't let them say anything about you and make you doubt yourself. When TC went to the post-fight press conference, he hugged Earl and gave Earl his belts back because he knows he's getting new ones. Look at that, bro. If you can't respect that, you're just a hater at the end of the day. So I think TC won the night, not just in the ring, outside the ring. Before, he was just a class act. And that's somebody you got to support. You know what I mean?
He was a class act. Shout out to TC.
Yeah, that's a fact.
And y'all already know Usyk is on my list, pound for pound. Stop playing with me.
Hold on. Did Ned answer this question?
Oh, I didn't answer. TC's number one. Ned answered.
I did.
TC's number one, pound for pound. And Inoue is close second. TC number one, Inoue 2, Usyk 3 for me. And then I got my man, as Jermell would say, Cinnamon, number 4. All right. So
Charlo better chill out. You see what happens when you put too much of that cinnamon in your mouth.
What if this dude beats Charlo next, bro? That's undisputed 3 divisions, man. That's crazy.
Yeah. If he beats him next, undisputed, and it's crazy.
Oh man. Are ready for that next topic?
Yes, sir.
All right, so do you want to see TC fight Spence again? Yeah, this should be good.
All right, so this is where I'm gonna show y'all G's burner account. But first, we're asking, do you want to see a rematch between Errol Spence and Terence Crawford? So first, we're going to take a look at what Errol Spence had to say. Errol Spence wrote, congratulations to Terence Crawford. Good-ish. Hopefully, we can do it again before the end of the year. All right. And this is what G's burner account had to say. Everyone, G's burner account has been discovered. And I'm going to expose it right now. This is what G had to say on his burner account, which is also Tristan. G said, notice how Anthony Joshua comes around the camp and you lose. Really makes you think. So that's what this
G definitely did that.
That's what he said to Earl Spence. So you see, my man G's burner account. All right. So I'm gonna turn it to you, Dollar Bill. Do you want to see this fight again?
Why not? Look, we done seen other fights take place when we seen one person stop the other person. Look, Ray stopped Tommy in the first one. You know, years later they did it again. I felt that Tommy got his get back, even though they called it a draw. You know, same thing. It happened before. You know, with other fights. Listen, if Earl feels in his heart of hearts that he wasn't 100% and he wants to do it again, he had put the clause in his contract to do it again. If TC wants to do it and make the bag, he seemed like he's up for it. You know, well, why not? Like, why not? This is what you're in here to do. You know what I'm saying? Challenge yourself. Go back to the drawing board. If you feel like you've been wrong, do it again. You see, the greats always want to challenge themselves. If they lost, they want to go and run it back and feel, you know, why? This is what you get into the sport for, you know, to test yourself, to see if you're better. If he feels like he can do better, that wasn't him, why not? Who are we to say, you know what I'm saying, who not? If you're going to buy the fight, buy the fight. If you're not, you're not. But I would love to see it again, maybe at 154, but just to see what he got. But listen, I don't care, you know?
All right, G. All right, your reaction? Do you want to see the fight again? And was that your burner account?
No, that was not my burner account. But
do you agree with what was stated in that tweet, G?
Yo, listen, I'm not even gonna lie, man. Yesterday, I'm gonna say this though. I was like, yo, how come I don't see AJ, bro? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Then Derek James talking about he gotta fly back to the UK. I'm like, yo, AJ should have been there, man. You know what I'm saying? But whatever.
He spiked his water and got up out of there.
Hey, you know. Oh, yo, here's another thing too I forgot to mention. That we gotta stop interviewing these fighters, man, after the fight, especially after like a beating like that. You know, he was clearly concussed. They didn't care. They kept asking him questions, multiple questions. I'm like, bro, you don't see this dude's face. You don't hear how he's talking. Like Spence sounded like he got hit by a bus, and they really asked him all these foolish questions at that moment. I didn't like that, man. So I just wanted to say that. But in regards to this question, do I want to see this fight again? I'm gonna be honest with you. I actually don't. Now I know that Spence was like, hey, you know, he wants to run it back at 154. I believe he'll have a better performance, but he's still gonna get dominated, you know. So, and to me, if he gets dominated again like that, that could be a career ender. So, I don't know. If I was Spence's team, I'll try to convince him not to do it. Now, again, Spence is a proud man, so you know he's not gonna probably listen to anyone. He's gonna want to run it back and run it back. So he's, you know, it's just his pride, man, is gonna get in his way. But for him to run it back, he has to make a lot of changes, which I just don't see him accomplishing. Especially, I think he said he wants the rematch for sometime in December. Nah, bro, I'm sorry, man. I hope Derrick James could convince this guy, like, yo, bro, like, yo, we could run it back, but not right now. You need some time, you know. So he needs time to heal for one, and he needs some time to develop new skills. You know, like I think he thought, yo, being one dimensional, just moving forward is gonna work. He could just bully his way through the fight, but clearly that shows that style's not working. And TC has shown he looks like he's stronger than you and faster than you. So I don't know, man. So I don't even want to see that rematch. I'll see it. I mean, if it happens, I'm gonna pay and I'm gonna support it. But I don't think he should do that. And if I was in his corner, I would tell him, like, bro, let's reconsider this.
Hey, yo, so Alexander Sankey, real quick. Lovejoy can't make my pound for pound list until after his next fight in Tijuana, Mexico, where he's taking on the toughest fighter they have to offer. After that, then he might make my list. Ned the TBE.
Nah, I wouldn't mind seeing this fight second time. There's certain things about getting to that next segment, but you know, you got to run it back. And for Spence, like the way you went out last night, and as a talented fighter as you are, there you gotta go back to the drawing board and you gotta fix. You gotta watch the tape, and you gotta really like take it serious. But we gotta see it again. We gotta see a part two. I know it was a one-sided fight last night, but I think Spence has more to offer than what he showed us. And who knows? Maybe he'll train harder, he'll take it more serious, and he'll use a different strategy if they agree to a rematch. I wouldn't mind that.
You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. Do I want to see the rematch? No. I feel like I saw all I need to see last night. Bud Crawford is the better fighter. Because everyone keeps saying, and it's true, Bud didn't even need to go to the second gear.
That's a fact.
He didn't even need to go to second gear. Yo, Bud left the fight. Rumor has it Bud left the fight and then did a photo shoot. You know what I'm saying? He didn't get a scratch on him. You know what I mean? But Bud looking like, you know what I mean? It's crazy. So I don't need to see this fight again. But I understand Errol Spence lost 3 straps. He took the risk. He lost 3 straps. So out of respect for Earl, cool. We can do it again, right? But if I'm Bud, we doing it at 147 again, because everyone keeps saying, "Oh, 154, 154." But if Bud's advantage is at 147, we fighting for the 147-pound titles. It has to be at 147. So. If I'm Bud, yeah, we run it back at 147. We're not running it back at 154. And remember, when Earl was the A side, he called the shots. But Terence Bud Crawford is now the A side. So Terence now calls the shots. If I'm Terence, we can do it again. We're doing it at 147. Hell, and Terence can do it in Omaha, Nebraska if he wants to. But We're doing it at 147. It's a new day, and for me, I don't really see. We'll get into it into the next segment. But my thing is with this fight and doing it again is, will it make the financial sense? Because, bro, you brought up a great point. You brought up Sugar Ray Leonard and Tommy the Hitman Hearns, but time had passed between their rematch. Hitman Hearns got some more wins under his belt where people were like, okay, let's see it again. This is an immediate rematch. In the immediate rematch at 147, I don't see anything Errol Spence can do that's going to make me feel like, yo, here's something different. The only dude, actually the only two guys I ever seen really turn things around, I shouldn't say ever seen, but in recent memory, that turned things around in an immediate rematch was Anthony Joshua, Andy Ruiz, and Lennox Lewis, Hakeem Rahman. Lennox got knocked out cold. But again, we know what happened. Lennox got caught with a shot, not taking Rahman seriously. And in the second fight, he was out for blood, and he took Rahman out in the second round. Anthony Joshua got caught with a punch, underestimating Andy Ruiz. Well, not underestimating, but going in for the kill recklessly, which is underestimating him, right? And then, well, then they can do it again at 154, I guess. But what's that going to do? It's not undisputed anymore. Look, I'll say this. To me, it's more than just weight with Errol Spence. There's a lot of tactical issues. So we'll get into that in the next segment. But I don't want to see it again. I don't think they should do it again. And we can move on to the next segment because basically everything I got to say is related to that.
Yeah, but last night they did Crawford did say that it's 147 is hard for him as well. And he said he doesn't mind the rematch being at 154. So it's looking like the rematch will be 154.
But to me, it's like,
it'll be at 153 for the 147-pound belt.
I know, right?
You know, Manny Pacquiao used to get belts. You know what I'm saying? It's a welterweight fight. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, look, man,
153. Do it at 153.
It's like whatever. But all right, so now we're on to what adjustments can Spence make to be more competitive in a rematch. All right, and Ned the TVE, I'm gonna go to you and say, what adjustments can Spence make to be more competitive in a rematch against Terence Crawford?
Like, there's things he could do better. Like, I feel like after he realized he was losing the fight, he had to like be the aggressor, but he just was like trying to. He did the wrong. He used the wrong strategy. Once he got knocked down, what was it? After like the 5th, 6th round, and he got knocked down, and it was a 10-7 round. And that's when he was like, he has to do something in the way. He got to either try to take TC's head off or something, and that was the wrong strategy. And from jump, he was fighting Terence Crawford's fight. There's certain times fighters, you make a fight your fight, and there was no point. He took control of that fight last night. I think he can take control of the fight, but he has to use better judgment with his punches. He has to keep his distance. He clearly has to use more head movement because every time he got countered, it was bad. And we done seen Spence beat the top 10 fighters in this division. Just like last night, he just got outclassed. I think he need to go back in the gym, just work on his defensive strategies. Not because we done seen him counter fighters, but he just got to be I don't know. He gotta lift more weight. I ain't gonna say get bigger. Just get more sharp and get cleaner and come with a better strategy than you did last night. Only way only way I could see him beating TC in the rematch is if he shows that he's more focused than he was last night. Because last night he was all over the place.
All right, we're gonna go to G.
Yeah, I think the adjustments that Spence needs to make, for one, is he has to keep his hands up. And it's like every fight, Spence always gets hit because for some reason, he just likes to lower his hands, or when he's attacking, he forgets his opposite hand should be glued to his face. If you look in that fight, TC did an excellent job of always protecting himself, no matter what punch he was throwing. Like, he was technically sound in that fight. Spence seemed kind of wild almost, like, and it seemed like the more hurt Spence was, the more like reckless he was with his movement. His head was too exposed. So it's like these are like dangerous things, especially against a guy who's like sharp with punches, you know. So to me, it's just I think he needs to just concentrate on keeping his gloves to his face, man. Like that's number one. And two, I'm being honest. If I was Derek James, I would try to recruit what's him called Lomachenko's dad in training camp.
Papachenko.
Yeah, Papachenko. And the reason why is because, like, I think he could benefit from those mental exercises that he has Lomachenko do, because I think he needs to learn how to make adjustments on the fly. You know, I think he relies too much on Derek James, you know, in between rounds to just tell him what to do, as opposed to like making adjustments. Like TC can make adjustments on his own. Spence isn't that type of guy, you know. So I think he needs to work more on, you know, just building. I don't know if it's building his IQ, but it's like, I don't know, it's like more response. Like, you know, like he needs to work on that, you know, and I think he'll do a lot better. But again, who knows? And I feel like if this, hopefully at 154, I think he'll have more energy, right? Because I do feel like, and this is no excuse, but I believe he was just too weight drained, because every punch that he threw looked like it had no power. Like, so it just, I think maybe at a higher weight class, you know, and I think maybe he overtrained for this fight. So maybe now that he's experienced his first loss, maybe that pressure on his back is no longer there. So now he'll have an easier training camp. So yeah, so I just think he needs to work on defense. He needs to focus on mental exercises to help him prepare to make adjustments, especially against a guy like TC who makes, you know, adjustments on the fly. He needs to be willing to have a plan A, B, and C. He might even need to have a plan D, you know. So that one-sided just move forward style is no longer going to work, especially against a guy like a tactician or like TC. So yeah, these are the things that he needs to fix.
All right, Dollar Bill.
Yeah. Yo, I don't ever want to hear nobody ever get on the TBE about bootlegging fights. Because what MD and my man Roman Numerals has showed me in this comment section is that there's over 300 people in the chat. And nobody's hitting the like button. So what I need y'all to do, to all the 300 people in here, is I need y'all to hit the like button. Because it's like y'all watching on bootleg. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
That's what they came here to hate, most of them.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Show some love. You know what I'm saying? Hit that like button.
Oh, Friday, it's a fish fry for Spence, and they came to fry us too. That's
You know what I'm saying? At least you can do is hit the like button.
Or dislike. Hit the dislike button too. Go ahead.
I appreciate you, Mike. Listen, what can Errol do? I don't got the answers, Sway. You know? You know, like, but I know he got to do better than what he did. Like this just didn't even seem like Errol. It just I know he got to do better the next one. I don't care. Whatever he does next is going to be better than what he did on this one. You know what I'm saying? Like even when he went to go throw a punch, you know what Errol needs to be? Errol got to be Errol. I know people nitpicking and saying this, that, and this and that and thorough. This wasn't the Errol that I'm used to seeing. This is not like Errol is fundamentally sound. Like when I see Errol used to throw a jab, he'll throw a punch and that comes right back. When I see him throw a jab, I see it come back. You know what I'm saying? I didn't see that from Errol this fight. Even when he was swinging the body punches, it wasn't like he was coming right back with it. You know what I'm saying? Yo, I don't know. Maybe the night was just too big for him. I'm not making no excuse. I'm just saying maybe the night was too big for him. Maybe he just overthinked the situation. But I would like for Spence to be Spence. You know what I'm saying? I just suspected this is even when he was throwing it, I seen him throw a drunken master shot. You know what I'm saying? Like he threw a punch, but he threw the other one with it too at the same time. He was like, "Are you kick?" You know what I'm saying?
He saw 3 TCs in there at that point, bro.
You know what I'm
It
saying?
was 3 TCs.
Like I don't know what he was doing. He was like,
hit the one in the middle.
I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what was going on, man. Like, but I just feel like any adjustment he makes would be better than what we just seen. You know, look, I'm just a firm believer in man. Like you don't tell no man where he can and cannot do. If he feeling his heart, he wants to go do this, and this is what he does for a living. This is it. Let him go in and do his thing. But I don't know what he can do to be. But I just know just be Earl, because that wasn't the Earl that I'm accustomed to seeing. I know everybody saying like, "Oh, this is the Earl we've been seeing." No, this is not the Earl we've been seeing. You know what I'm saying? This is not the Earl we've been seeing. I ain't never seen Earl get hit with a jab and lose his whole. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never seen Earl get hit with a little shoulder and fly across the ring. I've never seen that. So I don't know. I just want to see something else. You know what I mean? Shout out to TC. Good fight last night. But Spence, let's see what's up. And we're not gonna call Spence no hype job. We seen the people he fought.
Man, you can't win 3 belts.
If you can't win 3 belts, if you a high job, because then if that's the case, then you're taking the credit away from Crawford's win by calling Spence a hype job. So stop that. Let's just keep it what it is. You know what I'm saying? It was a good fight, and what's the name did his thing. TC did his thing.
All right, so just a few things. Jump into that. I want to know, Cat Locator, are you Cat Boxing from Twitter? And so I want to look at some of the recommendations that people made in the comment section, because my answer, I'll give it to you, but I saw some recommendations in the comment section. I gotta like scroll up now because but I seen like he needs more head movement, for example. He needs to improve his defense. I see he didn't use enough feints. I see a lot of things. He needs to use more angles. I'm going to tell you what he needs based on what I've seen. He needs to land the punch from the guards. That's what he needs to land. He needs to land that punch that would rock and hurt Errol Spence. And that would hurt Terence Crawford. And that will give him an opportunity. He didn't hurt TC. And we're going to get into that a little bit later. And once that didn't happen, the floodgates were open. What can he do differently in a rematch? Well, if I was training Earl based on what I saw, I would tell him a few things. 1, you need to focus on keeping your guard tight. 2, you need to use your jab and only your jab for like the first 2 rounds. You want to slow it down. If he gets in close, you need to hold him. You don't want to get in exchanges with TC because TC's faster than you and he's more accurate than you and he's sharper than you. Basically, I would try to get him to fight like a mini Klitschko style. So that's what I would do. She said Bud deadlifts 450 pounds, throws a football 70 yards, got a 30-inch vertical, hits a golf ball 300 yards. Everybody was saying he was going to bully Crawford. Dude is just stronger than Spence. All right. I mean, I respect all those things that you're saying, but at the end of the day, this is still boxing. I'm sure Floyd Mayweather can't do any of those, like a fraction, like he can't do all those things in his prime. But I tell you this, you put TC in the ring against Floyd in his prime, and you know, it is what it is. So but again, TC is definitely stronger than people gave him credit for. But sometimes the only way to prove it is to have people line up and run. Like when you look at it, For example, one of my favorite sports is women's track. I love women's track. You got Sharika Jackson. You got Shelly Ann Fraser Price. You have Elena Thompson-Herah. You got Sha'Carri Richardson. You have all these. There's this new girl who just beat Sha'Carri too. She just moved up. Alfred, I think her name is. You have all these great athletes, and they run their times. And when you see them run and they win, you're like, yo, I think that person. But it's not until they actually in the race and they line up against each other that you can see who's faster. This is I'm talking about track to make the point that you can't tell who's stronger in a boxing match until they get them in the ring. We always talk about this on the show. We think someone's faster. We think someone has speed. Like Stephen Fulton looked fast, for example. Stephon Fulton looked fast against the opponents he was in the ring with, and he is fast. But when I saw him in the ring with Inoue was just faster, sharper, better timing. So again, you don't know these things until you put them in the ring with each other. And when they went in the ring with each other, yeah, you could see that Crawford was stronger. Crawford was stronger than I expected him to be. He was stronger than Earl expected him to be. Trust me, he was stronger than Earl expected him to be. So we can see that. So again, adjustments he can make. I would tell him to fight like a mini Klitschko. And maybe you can slow down the attack. Maybe you can slow down the rounds to where you can compete and you can make it competitive. But in the end, based on what I saw last night, I don't see a way that Errol Spence will beat Terence Crawford, even if it's at 154. All right, so we're on to the next topic.
All right, so the next one is TC start. This is it when he felt Spence's power.
All right, yeah. So Terence Bud Crawford gave an interview to Stephen A. Smith where he spoke about Errol Spence power. We're going to take a listen to what Terence Crawford had to say, and then we're going to discuss it. So here's what TC had to say about Errol Spence power.
Oh yeah, definitely. After the second round, when I heard him, I felt as if he couldn't handle my power like I can handle his. I remember him throwing a overhand looping left, and he caught me right on the button. I think it was the first order, second round, and I was just like, "This is it." I was like, "Oh, okay." It's gonna be a long night for him. Oh yeah, definitely. After
So that's what
the second round, when I heard him,
TC had to say. I'm turning over to you, Trill. What was your reaction to what TC had to say about Earl's power?
Look, that's it. I guess what it is. It is what it is. I guess Gamboa hits harder. If there was nothing, I don't know. Gamboa hits harder. You know what I'm saying? Jeff Horn hits harder. You know what I'm saying? Kavaliauskas hits harder. You know what I'm saying? That's how. If y'all don't want to, if that's what I don't know. If y'all not trying to hear that's, I don't know. Some it's just I don't know. This is what it is. Shout out to Gamboa.
G.
Well, I'm gonna say this and be more. I agree with what you just wrote. Like, this is scary. But saying this about his power, this only reason why I don't want a rematch. And this is why I'm leaning towards this as well, because if Bud's like, yo, I didn't feel anything or it was light,
it makes you want to have a rematch. It makes me want to have a rematch. Like, what the hell was going on then? Like, is there some case to him not feeling like he was himself? If he's saying like this, and this is the guy who was rocked by Gamboa.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this doesn't make sense to me.
Something's like off, yo. Something's off. And if nobody wants to say that, you want to be real. And be like,
he had when Spence fought both Sean Porter and what's his name? Special K, right? So, and the reason why I'm bringing up both fighters fought.
Highlight MD.
But like these guys did a lot better against TC than what Spence did. You know what I'm saying?
You better get that turbo zing.
That turbo zing.
You better get that Jarrell Miller.
That turbo zing. Proud sponsored of the Boxing Bros. The turbo zing.
But it's just, to me, I couldn't even imagine getting punished like that, you know, because we've seen both gentlemen fight guys where lesser opposition has given more of a competitive match to TC, you know, and these same guys Spence have beat, and then Spence gets in there and gets completely mopped. So it's just like, bruh, like I feel like TC's telling the 100% truth. Like, he was probably like, yo, I have no respect for your power. So I'm gonna continue to just fillet this fish. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I didn't see any form of resistance, bro. Like, TC didn't even break a sweat. Like, it looked like every time they'll go back to their corners, like Spence looked like a new person. Between every round, he looking like more beat up, more battered. While TC looked fresh to death, like he was good. Like he could have won another 15 rounds, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I'm being honest, I don't know what Spence could do for the next fight. This is like dangerous. Like, this could literally be a career ender. Like, he was clearly concussed, you know, at the end of that fight. And it was just unnecessary punishment after punishment after punishment. Like, you can't do this back to back, bro. If you do this back to back, it might literally be over for this guy. And he's fairly young. You know what I mean? He's not like fresh, but you know, he's young enough where he can still have a couple more years. But if he goes back into that fight and TC is as sharp like he was the first time, man, that's a short-lived career for Spence, man. So it's dangerous.
All right, TBE.
That's I don't know. I wouldn't like. We all seen Spence's power, so we know he's a hard puncher. But last night you could see, like, after like the third round, Spence was fading. His face was getting beat up. I just think he couldn't stand on his punches. Or he wasn't even connecting most of the time. So I just feel if he actually connected, and there were clean shots from Spence, TC would be saying something else. But Spence didn't connect with any clean shots. If he ever connected, it would be an exchange where he's taking a punch from TC while he landed a simple. What was it? I think he landed like 33 punches last night, which is so mediocre for a guy like Spence. But I think if Spence was just in better, I don't know. I wouldn't give him any excuses. It's just last night wasn't his night. He wasn't standing on his punches. He couldn't connect properly. He was by the 4th, 5th round. He was bloodied in the face. He looked exhausted, and you know, at that point, I don't know. I just like Spence gave what he had last night, and that was it. So yeah, I guess. But we all know Spence is a better puncher than that.
Yeah, let me just respond to Arlette. Like, I'm not coming up with excuses for Spence's performance. Like, I believe if they run it back, the same thing's gonna happen. I don't think he should do it at all, because if he does it, if he runs it back again, that same thing happens, this could be a career ender. So I think, you know, he has to kind of think about his loved ones, you know, his career, his bills. And to me, it's like, you know, if you think you have a chance against TC, build your resume up. You know what I mean? Fight some other guys, learn some techniques, do a lot of things, you know, with other fighters. So then you'll be actually ready for a TC fight, if in fact you think you could beat him. But I don't think this Spence right now could do this. It's just foolish thinking. So that's what I'm not trying to come up with excuses. I'm just being real. Like, bro, don't do this to yourself, man. Like, think about those that need you. You know what I mean?
Yo, see, this is why I love these big fights. This is why these big fights need to happen more. Like, I just love seeing like the stuff in there. So Arlette saying she heard that heavy drinkers bleed faster, stuff like that. It's just that's hilarious. It's pretty funny. All right, yo, check this out. I tell people this all the time. The best chin is the chin that doesn't get hit. You understand? Like the chin that doesn't get touched is the best chin. And I think it was KTH for life. I saw what you wrote. You said that's because TC saw all Spence punches coming, and that's true. The punches that get you are the ones you don't see. But Spence's punches were predictable. He was throwing the same punches. He was trying to land the looping left. He was trying to land the right hook. It was eating, and TC saw it all. It was predictable. So the first thing is, if your chin doesn't get hit, then But what he's saying, and this is what I gather from it, he said when he did get hit with a flush shot in the second round, and he said, "Oh, this is all he has to offer." That gave him the confidence to say, "I can take his power." But he still didn't get reckless. He still didn't go in there crazy, opening himself up for punches. He still used his technique. He still used great defense, and he still picked his shots perfectly. But what he was saying was Spence couldn't handle his power. So he knew at that point Spence had nothing that can beat him. And that's real, because going into this fight, I'm going to tell you why I picked Errol Spence. Because I seen Errol Spence walk forward on Danny Garcia, right? And just straight pressure him into submission, pressure Ugas into submission, pressure these fighters into submission. And I thought that Spence would be able to take TC's punches and do the same thing. But once he couldn't take TC's punches, once it became evident that TC could hurt him, he had no shot. That's when I knew it was over. If you go back, what I said, I knew this fight was over in the third round, right? I knew it was over in the third round because I knew that Spence couldn't take his punches. I mean, and once Spence couldn't take Crawford's punches, it was over. So that's when I knew that it was a wrap. And for me, I think he's telling the truth. I think he didn't get hit by anything that made him worry in that ring. Just look at his face. Look at him. He let yo. But again, I just want to point out, I think that comes from the fact he was in the fight of his life. He was in the best shape of his life. He was ready for the moment. He was inspired and determined to put on a performance. 5 years of hearing people say things, and it motivated him. So I'm not here to talk about Danny Garcia, but I want to say this to Arlette, and I respect that you're here, and I'm glad that you're back actually. But remember, I always said I think Sean Porter is elite, and you're the one who said he wasn't elite. I always said I think Danny Garcia is elite, and you're the one who said you don't think he's elite. Now remember, elite doesn't mean the best. Elite doesn't mean at the top. Elite just means better than your average. So you can't discredit Danny Garcia and discredit Ugas and discredit Sean Porter because you're only hurting TC. If you're a TC fan, think about that. So you're saying that Sean Porter's not all that. You're saying that Ugas isn't all that. These are the dudes who Spence beat that put him to the level of which we could have this mega fight. So you don't want to sit there and try to throw dirt on these guys. These guys are all champions, championship caliber. Yeah, he was in great shape. There's no Bud Crawford. Bud Crawford is above them. Bud Crawford cemented himself. And all this no name on his resume talk is dead. But if you're being honest with yourself, even Bud Crawford admitted he didn't have a marquee name on his resume at 147. Just do a simple Google search. You will see he filed a lawsuit against Bob Arum. And in the lawsuit against Bob Arum, Terence Crawford cites not having a marquee fight at 147 as one of the reasons why he wanted to leave Bob Arum. So it's not like people who said his resume wasn't up to par were making stuff up. Even he acknowledged that. He's even acknowledged that himself. But no one can say that anymore. That's the beauty of this fight. He shut all that down. And moving forward, people need to give him the respect he deserves, and people should roll with Crawford.
Yo, but speaking of belts, I forgot to mention this. Yo, that dude Mauricio Suleiman is a scumbag, and here's why. When they were like, when all the governing bodies are putting the belts around TC, this dude Mauricio came through like, yo, put that WBC belt up front. This dude literally trying to cover up other belts, and I'm like, the other presidents right next to Mauricio, and none of them said anything. I'd have been like, yo, Mauricio, back up, bro. Your belt ain't better than my belt. You know what I'm saying? Like, Mauricio had no respect, bro. Like, WBC is straight savage, man. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Yo, Mauricio, man, he a hot mess, dog. Oh.
It's crazy.
You know why he wanted to do that? Because Spence called out them sanctioning fees and said he want to know where them sanctioning fees are going or whatever. So Mauricio's happy. He's like, when you question the fees, you get beat down.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
so the next topic, right?
Yeah, we can move on to the next one. Yeah.
So TC and Jermell exchanged words in the middle of the fight.
What's his name?
You talking about Mauricio?
Oh no, I was looking at the comment section. Say you love me without saying you love me, baby.
Mauricio got mob connections.
I see why you just said that. Oh, you're a funny dude. All right, so we're diving into it. In the middle of the fight, TC exchanged words with Jermell Charlo, particularly when he made a statement. We're going to take a look at it and then we're going to discuss it. All right. So, and we're going to get to that Caleb stuff too, just to let y'all know. But we're going to take a look at what happened in the middle of the fight. So this is TC. Spence got dropped. Look at Russell Westbrook right there. You see Jermell in the red hoodie standing right there. You see TC has some words for him. You see Bud looking at him. Bud's gonna point at him. Say, me and you, let's do it. You see that right there?
Yo, who's screaming? Who's the one recording?
Yo, no, that's from someone's phone, bro.
Oh,
somebody's watching.
We can't show actual Showtime footage because then they'll claim the video.
Nah. I was just like, I hope that ain't Charlo screaming like that. You know what I'm saying?
This sound like a Bud fan.
Are we going to talk about that? Are we going to talk about the slap heard all around Vegas?
Yeah. It's on here. It's on here. Of course it is. We got to talk about that.
You know what I'm saying?
All right. So here's another angle of that. Terence Crawford talking to Jermell.
I was screaming like that.
You see that? All right, so I'm gonna turn it over to the TBE. I'm gonna start with you, man. What was your reaction to TC having words with Jermell in the middle of the fight and after the fight?
Hey man, the Charlos had an eventful weekend this weekend, man. So they want all the smoke. Let them have it, yo. Jermell want to go and call out TC. That's exciting. That's great for boxing. If they could have a sit down, make this fight happen, it'd be another big fight. It'd be if they could have it. What I don't know. We talking about rematches. If they could go past the rematch and then make this fight happen in December. Well, this is too soon for December, but it's another big fight for TC in 2023. But that would be amazing if these two could get in the ring and you see TC get a chance to be undisputed 3-weight classes. Jermell gets to take on a tough opponent, and whoever wins gets to build their legacy and tighten up their resume. So I ain't mad at it. So it makes it competitive. It makes it great for the sport of boxing.
All right, G.
I'm being honest, man. Jermell, don't do it, yo. Man, listen. Don't do it, man. Yo, man, I don't know, man. If I was Jermell, I'll probably be like, I'll find a way to get about that fight. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I don't know, man. Hey, Jermell, I mean, it's still going to be a great fight. But I don't know. If this TC that was dialed in like this gets in the ring with Jermell, yo, because I'm being like Jermell's style is predictable, you know. So like I think TC will see his punches coming too, you know. Like now I think he's quicker with counters. He's like, well, he's better. He's faster than Spence on that regard, but his style is similar to Spence's. So I don't know, man, if he really wants it with TC, bro. Like I know, like TC's like technically smaller, but not as much. You know what I mean? Like even when he went up against Spence, I thought Spence was way bigger than him, and actually they were like close in size, and TC had a longer reach than Spence. So TC might be perfect for 154, man, to be honest. So if these guys gonna play with this dude, man, take him real serious. You know, it's one thing to talk trash to this guy, but he seemed like he really wants these fights. You know, and knowing Al and PBC, they're gonna give it to him. So Jermall, man, you better go Super Saiyan mode because this kid gonna violate you too. You know, he's gonna run through Texas, man. So y'all better be careful. That's all I'm gonna say is be careful. That's a warning. You know what I mean?
I know he came out when I'm from Texas.
Yeah, man.
That Texas fish fry.
TC right. Built different, man.
All right, Dollar Bill.
TC and Jermell exchanged words during the middle of the fight. That's cute. Listen, I feel like concentrate on the task at hand. That's how I feel. Because my man from Guadalajara, he might. Y'all talking like there's not the guy that's been holding it down, but have been holding boxing and carrying boxing on his back. The guy from Guadalajara, y'all acting like he ain't in the picture. You know what I'm saying? We need to be talking about maybe him and TC getting it on. Because Jermell might not make it past that test. He might not pass that Saud test or that Cinnamon test he was saying. He might not pass that test, you know? So, yeah, I think that was cool. But you got something else in front of you, unless you're going to say that your hand hurts and you're going to, you know, try to opt out of that fight and try to go in there with TC. But I just think you got something else in front of you that it's a monster as well that you need to be focused on, and that's Saud.
I hear you. All right, so check this out. I think it would be dope, and I kind of do wish that was the next fight in the chamber because you have Jermell moving up 2 weight classes to challenge Canelo Alvarez for his title, which it kind of reminds me of an old scenario. It reminds me of Kell Brook moving up 2 weight classes to challenge Triple G, getting his orbital bone broken, then moving back down in weight and fighting Errol Spence, and then getting his other orbital bone broken. So now we're talking about Jermell moving up 2 weight classes to fight Canelo. And we know Canelo, he takes body parts from people. He's done it before, right? So if Jermell moves up to 168 and Canelo, let's just say Canelo knocks him out or Canelo beats him, Jermell takes an L. He's still undisputed at 154. So he's going to move down to 154. Of course, there's this Tim Tszyu issue, but, you know, I'm sure PBC can make him step aside if they were going to try to make undisputed versus undisputed TC versus Jermell at 154. And Jermell would be coming off a L. He would be coming off a loss. But this is why I say, again, I don't want no excuses, and I want respect across the board. I don't want to hear the Errol Spence fans say, oh, Jermell just got beat up by Canelo. If that does play out, if it does play out this way, and TC beats Jermell after Canelo beat him to become undisputed at 154, I don't want no excuses. Because Earl did the same thing, and y'all was cool with it. Okay? So Trill, I hear what you're saying, but there may be a scenario where Jermell can lose to Canelo. Everyone's going to say, well, he moved up 2 weight classes. He dared to be great, right? So now he moves back down to 154. And he's in another undisputed fight. So Jermell is really going to be coming up on some bread because you got undisputed versus undisputed at 168. If he loses at 168, he keeps his 154 belts. He goes down to 154. He's in back-to-back undisputed versus undisputed fights. That's a hell of a cash out. Especially when Canelo is the highest grossing star in boxing. So I'm not saying that because Gervonta Davis just had a pay-per-view that went 1.2, 1.3. I'm saying Forbes says he makes the most money in boxing, right? So that's Canelo. But TC just became a superstar. You know how you know TC just became a superstar? It was a star-studded event. All the superstars, all the people who tuned in just saw the way TC cooked Errol Spence, reminiscent of Floyd Money Mayweather. That's the performance we needed to create a superstar, really, because everybody was like, is that Floyd? Like, you were waiting for TC to unzip his face and then Floyd to come out. Like, that's what it looked like in the ring. So that type of performance made him a superstar. So Jermell possibly has 2 big fights lined up back to back. So I like it. But what I don't want to hear is anyone trying to discredit the situation. If Bud does become 3-time undisputed in 3 different weight classes, if that does happen, it certainly won't be me. So yeah, we can move on to the next one.
All right. Next up is TC has words for his doubters.
TC has words for his doubters, but he still don't have as many words as Arlette does.
See, I think Arlette was just about to show you some stuff.
She just came back to get a rise. She just came back to get a rise. Like, you got to come back more. You got to hang around some more before, you know what I'm saying? We start putting you back in the fold of thing. You know?
Nah, it's all good. Me. Oh. All right. We out here. All right. Setting this up real quick.
It's too much too soon. Too much.
All right.
What up, big bro?
Is that Big Mo?
Yeah, that's Big Mo.
Oh, Big Mo's in the building. What's up, bro?
Yeah,
I can't see what's happening right now because I'm setting this up. All right. So TC actually addressed his doubters. We have other people in here addressing his doubters. And I say salute to y'all, man. You know, this is what boxing is all about at the end of the day, right? You roll with your fighter, you went through the mud, you took your bruises. You know, I'm not gonna lie. I lumped some of y'all up in some of our sessions, so I know y'all coming back to get yours. Get yours. Salute to you. This is your time. TC dominated Errol Spence Jr. No one can dispute that, and no sane person would ever try to debate that. There's nothing you can say. So you got your words. Come get them. We're here. We're live. We're here we're man enough to deal with that.
We went live.
TC had words for doubters, so we're going to talk about TC's words to his doubters, and then we'll respond to it. So there are a few clips of TC addressing his doubters. So here goes one of them. I believe this is to Ellie Setback into the doubters in the media.
Do you feel like now when you look back, like, do you feel some sense of vindication that people who overlooked you for so long now, you're at the top of the heap and there's no doubt?
I've been telling each and every one of y'all for years. A lot of y'all over here looking sad. Ellie, you looking like a retarded ass dude over there because you was going against me. You know what I mean? But all in all, you know, I get to say I told y'all because I've been asking for these fights for years. And y'all been saying, oh, he's too small. He's going to get this. He's going to get broken. And each and every time that I step up, I proved y'all wrong. Each time. So, you know what I mean? Write some great stories about Terence Crawford. Don't hate on him. Don't say nothing negative. Just give me my props.
Do you feel like now when you look back, like
So that's one of the things he had to say. And you saw he had some strong words for Ellie. You know, we'll get into that. All right. Can y'all see that? Or is it still the same? All right, man. So yeah, I gotta stop it, man. All right. Hold on. Give me a second. Right, here we go. So here's what he had to say.
So for all you guys that doubted me, for all you guys that said I was too small, I was actually too strong. and now everybody, you know what I mean, they get to witness greatness, like I said before, and it's the Terence Crawford era. So for
All right, and this is the last video we're going to look at of Terence Crawford addressing his doubters, and then we'll discuss it.
Shout out to all the haters and doubters. My boy Undisputed.
That's the two-time undisputed, the first male fighter to be two-time undisputed in the history of boxing in the four-belt era, Terence Bud Crawford. Those are the words he had to say to his doubters. I'm turning over to you, G. What was your reaction to what he had to say?
I mean, outside of, you know, using the retard and all that terminology, you know what I'm saying? He was still respectful, you know, and I knew that was going to happen before the fight. One of them was going to call them out, like call out their haters, you know, like we've seen Spence do it in the past, you know. These guys are just, they're real proudful, like, you know what I mean? And in this fight, everyone's picking sides. So, you know, even though people are like, yo, this is a 50-50 fight, people still pick. And then when they pick, the you know, the other person is like, oh, word, you gonna pick him over me? All right, now I got something to prove, you know. So TC talking this talk is just, this is what he's supposed to do. Like, for all my doubters, man, now what? You know, and so he got that, man. So it just is what it is. It comes with the territory.
I Ned the TBE.
I guess that was those words sent towards me, and you know, you got it, TC, man. You know, we doubted you, we didn't believe in you, and you came out on top, man. It's your moment, it's your time to celebrate. I ain't mad at it. You got your right, talk your ish, man.
Dollar Bill.
Yeah, shout out to TC, man. Shout out to TC. He got this. Is what he posted. Like G was saying, man. Like, you won. People were saying that you couldn't do it. You know, listen. I thought that Earl would have been bigger than you for this fight, but you came out and you look bigger than Earl this fight. You know what I'm saying? I looked at my man. I said, why is it that TC look bigger than Earl? You know what I mean? Look. I'm not
see the icon? Wait, go back to my man's icon real quick. Yeah, him. You see, it's Al Heyman and Canelo hugging with Eddie in the background. I'm sorry, go ahead, bro.
Nah, that was hilarious. You know what I'm saying? And that's a game changer for you right there. That's a game changer for you, game change. But look. Shout out to TC. He has the right to say all that he needs to say. I get it. But I don't understand what all the haters for LA setback. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really don't watch him that much. But I can understand, like, every channel does it. Everybody got their own relationships of people who they rock with. You know what I'm saying? Like, so everybody's coming at him now. I've seen some people call him a rainbow and all this other stuff. Half of y'all wouldn't have showed up if TC would have lost. Y'all wouldn't have showed up to the Boxing Bros Live. So stop it with all the slander of another guy just because he has personal relationships with another people or their crew because they give him access and whatever stuff like that. As far as it goes, this is how I look at it. TC, talk your stuff. Talk your stuff.
All right. Go to Rachel's comment real quick because it's hilarious, and also like I do want to. She said, "I ain't forget Pootie Tang, so I expected the TC fans to come back hard." Listen, you remember I called him Terence Pootie Tang Crawford?
Yeah.
Yo, I'm sorry, bro. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying that, like, so if you don't watch, how can you judge? Like, I don't watch Ellie Sessback to know what his sexual preference is. You're calling this man out his name. You already put a rainbow up beside his name. How would I know that by watching his content, what his sexual preferences? Let's come on. Now you're becoming ugly. That's what I'm saying. You're doing too much now. Maybe you need to take another break now.
Yo, we don't need to address those type of statements.
Yeah, we get. Look, like I said, everybody just do you. Like, it is what it is. But can we go back to Terrence? Can we go back to the Pootie Tang thing real quick? Yo, this is a great segment right here. I love this segment. I did put up the Terrence Pootie Tang Crawford statement, right? I did do that. But come on, guys. This is a YouTube channel. We got to have some fun. You can't tell me that wasn't hilarious. Now, Rachel, you're the one who put this up. Tell me that wasn't hilarious. So I just want to make this clear. I am a fan of boxing. I love the sport of boxing. I do what I do. I talk my trash like everybody else. That's part of the fun to me. It's not personal to me. So if you say something about the fight, I talk about the fight. I talk about the facts. Most of you take personal shots at me, which is okay. I don't do that. We're about to get to a segment where someone took personal shots, and we're going to address that. All I do is talk about the fight. All I do is talk about things. Whether you want to admit it or not, right? A lot of what I said actually came to fruition. TC had to be the B-side. TC had to take less money. TC had to sign a multi-fight deal with PBC, and TC had to do those things in order to make the fight happen. That's all I was saying. I said Errol Spence had the leverage. I said TC did it. Some of y'all didn't like that. Y'all didn't like what I was saying, which was facts. It turned out to be the way I said it. Y'all don't want to acknowledge that. That's cool. But let's not front like I didn't acknowledge TC's boxing skill. I said he has skill, but his resume is weak. He even acknowledged it himself. Like I said, a simple Google search would show you that he said, I have no marquee opponents on my resume. Everything I said about TC was related to boxing. I acknowledge he's a great dad. I acknowledge that I love his story as a man, someone who got shot, turned his life around. The man's playlist was exquisite. I watched TC on All Access. It made me like him even more to see him interact. Listen to his playlist, see how he gets down. Those are things I didn't really get to see before. So some of that, right? I got to. So those are the things I was talking about. I never once said TC's a bad fighter. I never once said TC doesn't have a chance to beat Earl. I never said it was going to be a wash. I never said that. I acknowledged TC was great. I only said certain things that are facts that end up happening. What didn't happen was that TC did not beat Errol Spence. But I, for one, am not mad about that because I love the sport of boxing. You can take down Rachel's comment real quick. My Terrence Pootie Tang Crawford statement was about how everyone was giving TC victories he didn't earn. Remember that. I'm not making this up. Everyone was saying, like, Bud beat this guy, Bud beat that guy. I said, let him do it in the ring. And what did I say? When he does it in the ring, I will give him credit for it. We've been here this whole time. When have I not given Bud credit for it? It was one of the best performances in boxing I've seen in a long time, and it's a historical performance because he made history. First two-time undisputed champion on the men's side of boxing. So again, all I'm saying is the Pootie Tang reference was about everyone giving him victories he never earned, but he earned this victory. So for Bud Crawford, what I'm gonna say is this: what I witnessed last night was the best fighter in the world. It's the best Terence Crawford performance that I have seen. He earned a big time name on his resume that nobody can doubt. If you watch throughout, I continuously told everyone, buy the pay-per-view, support this fight. I bought the pay-per-view, I supported this fight. And I said to everyone, and I stand by it, just as much, you look at the comment section. If you want to know all the venom that's being thrown my way, take a look at the comment section. People were in the comment sections before we even went live. I didn't duck anything. I came right back here to say to everyone else, like I've been saying, get behind the winner of this fight. Pause. So support whoever wins this fight. If Errol would have won, I would have been saying to the TC fans, you need to come to this side. You need to support Errol Spence because that's what we need to make a superstar, right? Now what I'm saying to all the Errol Spence fans is you need to give TC his props and you need to support TC. That's what I'm prepared to do. I am saying it right now. I was wrong about Terence Crawford, Errol Spence. TC was levels above him. Some of you saw it coming before I did. In fact, I didn't see it coming until it actually happened. Okay? Forgive me for needing the evidence. But now I am a believer. TC, number one pound for pound. I can't wait to see what TC does next. I am going to support TC moving forward. And I saw a comment that said, here comes the bandwagon fans. There's no such thing in boxing. TC needs all the fans he can get because we want TC to sell 1 million pay-per-view buys his next fight, right? So how you going to sit there and say bandwagon fans? So you think TC wants everyone to keep being like, forget TC, I'm not going to support him? Nah. When you see it, support him. If that's the case, there wouldn't be people wouldn't have no fans. How many fans did Anyway just get by beating Stephen Fulton? Go ahead, bro.
I got a question that has nothing to do. I agree with what you're saying. How many fans did Anyway just gain by being Fulton? He gained a whole bunch. There's nobody seen a slick boxer like Fulton get schooled like that. But so I just wanted to throw a question out there because I didn't see it on the list. What do you think, bro? What do you think they did last night? I hear you talk about everybody getting behind TC, and when you said him, you want him to see him doing 1 million pay-per-view buys. What do you think they did last night?
Oh, I'm going to say they did over 1 million. I believe that they did over 1 million. I know where you're going with it. Go there. Go. I know where you're going with it. Go there. Go ahead. This is real stuff. Go ahead.
Yeah, because I feel like,
I said I believe. Now, will they do over 1 million? If they don't, go ahead, brother.
No. I don't. Look, they to what you were saying, they need it. They would need it. Both of them would need it to become the star that we want them to become, or to be that star. Like if y'all want him to, yeah. He needs those Earl fans. He needs those Earl fans to do those numbers. You know what I'm saying? To do those record-breaking numbers. Mm-hmm. He needs everybody, those bandwagon fans. So don't go there and try to make people feel a certain way. No, if they was wrong, they was wrong. But he needs those fans, and I'm sure he wants those fans so he can do numbers, so he can make that generational wealth. That's how I see it.
And that's a great point, Trill. Regardless of what the numbers are, this is going to be the biggest fight that Errol Spence and TC have ever participated in. We do know that. So let's say the numbers are what they are, right? If you take away Errol Spence fan base, TC is going to go back to doing less numbers. Is that what we want? No, we're trying to push TC forward. We're trying to push TC over. And then we got people acting like this is an East Coast, West Coast beef, like, oh, yeah, don't hop on the bandwagon. What kind of crap is that? See, this is stuff I never got involved with. I was never Tupac and Biggie. I listened to both of them. I know both their lyrics. So you never see me walking around calling people bud buddies. This is the first time I ever said bud buddy on this channel. You never see me walk around with the Earl sexual because I knew that's doing damage. In the end, I always said, in the end, we need to get together and support the winner of this fight. Because like it or not, the winner of this fight's from the same community. The Puerto Ricans all get behind the Puerto Rican fighter. The Mexicans all get behind the Mexican fighter. But us, we sitting here talking about a bandwagon. Come on, man. Stop playing. Like I said, Bud made me a believer last night. I tweeted to Bud directly saying he's better than I gave him credit for. If you need to hear me say it, Terence Bud Crawford is better than I gave him credit for. Terence Bud Crawford put on one of the best performances I've seen in a long time. That's no disrespect to Errol. Okay? Errol is a good fighter. He's just not TC. And there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Two men can be great. Two men can be good at something. And one person can just be better. That's what we saw last night. That's it. TC is that dude. Stamp it. You know what I mean?
All right, y'all ready for the next topic?
Oh, snap. You know what it just hit me? Yo, my brain crazy. My brain crazy. You know what I thought of just now? What that fight kind of reminded me of? Andre Ward and Chad Dawson, yo.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. That's a good, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That's kind of like that.
All right. Next topic. Bo Mac gets the last laugh.
All right. So speaking of which, if you ever watch the Boxing Bros, right? One of the things we always try to do is just keep it about the subject. And if it ever goes beyond the subject or someone goes too far, we'll say like, yo, that was an ad hominem attack, right? Like it kind of went personal. We try not to go personal. Like we can use our personal experiences to elaborate on the point, to give an example, but we try not to get personal with each other or take the discussion or the debate beyond the actual topic that we're talking about. And I think we do a great job of that for the most part on this show. But there were times in the build up to this fight where things got personal and crossed the line. And we're going to take a look at that. And it happened between the trainers of all things, which is shocking sometimes because, the trainers train, but the fighters are the ones who are fighting. But in this case, it did get to that point. So we're going to take a look at some of the exchanges where things got personal. And it's no secret, Bo Mac got the last laugh. All right. So I need y'all to bear with me for a few more seconds as I set up these videos because there's quite a few of them. But in the end, it's going to be a good discussion. So this one's loading up. All right. So here we go. We're going to play the first video. Let's see. Here's the first one.
Ain't no more hiding. You can't hide no more, Derek.
Hide.
We'll find out who the best
Hey man, listen.
is.
Only thing been
I
hiding
respect
go
you
big
for
back.
what you've done in the game.
Cheetos.
But you ain't never went up against me or my
Listen,
staff.
that's the only thing been
So
hiding.
you remember something.
What? Tell me what I got to remember.
We've been here before.
So you say
You trying to get
no,
there.
No. You,
All right?
Wait.
I can tell you how it is to be undisputed.
Wait. You can tell.
You can't tell me shit.
Listen, you the only.
Sit back and watch this.
Wait, is Jermell Charlo?
Sit back and watch this. I promise you something.
Hey, listen.
I promise you something.
Hey man, listen, man. They gotta make a new weight for you, super heavyweight. What the fuck you talking about? We know
all that shit you talking don't mean nothing.
It don't mean nothing.
I can bump my guns at you. You can bump your guns
That's
at me.
right,
But at the end of the day,
them
two brothers got to get in the ring.
That's right.
All right, then. So shut the fuck up.
Yes, ma'am. This
is going to be one heck of a.
All right, so That's one exchange. So we're gonna go to another one.
It's my auntie right there. Here you go, mama.
We're here now, y'all. Ain't nothing else to say. He can't hide no more.
Actually, on this one, I gotta get to when my man got on the podium. All right, here we go.
Well, I'm going to piggyback off what he said. There's no more talking, and there's nothing else they can say. And I just want to say, my chant is it's time to eat. It's time to eat. And the reason why I say it's time to eat because he hadn't missed a meal. It's time to eat. It's time to eat. It's time to twirl. It's time to make it happen. Tired of talking. Yeah. Hey, listen. Hold your voice. Hold your voice. Hold your voice. Because y'all gonna get it. You can't talk. You can't fight.
So that was another exchange. All right. We're gonna get to the next one. All right. So after the fight, of course, Terence Crawford stops Errol Spence. This is Bomac.
Yeah.
Somebody take that picture. Come on, Pops, get in here.
Okay, I'm gonna get the picture with you, brother. G.
Look, they call me names.
Yeah.
He eat too many Big Macs.
Tell him, boy.
Yeah.
Tell him, boy.
Okay.
He didn't have a fucking round.
Okay.
He didn't even touch bud.
Tell him.
What? I'm talking about that knowledge. And
Right.
he gets it to his corner.
You got it. I give respect. I give respect. I give respect. Respect.
Hey, Bomac, do you feel like Derek should have stopped the fight?
He should have never signed the contract.
Oh, wow.
So you heard what Bomac had to say right there, but Bomac wasn't done with that. Here's what Bomac had to say once he got into the locker room.
What? I told you, man. Hell yeah. That's fuck you motherfuckers, man. Fuck you. They mad.
Yo, but this is something that's crazy. I came across this interview. Through the night, you're looking at stuff, you're reading things. And so here's an interview with Bomac, like a few years ago, like a year ago.
You said Terence knocks Errol Spence out. How and why? Well, I ain't gonna put it out there like that so these guys can catch on because I know they watching. But I guarantee you something. I guarantee you go in there and whoop his ass. Let's go the distance. We in shape to go the distance, but we definitely want that knockout. You said Terence knocks.
That's something that Bomac said before the fight ever took place, and it played out the way Bomac said. So I'm gonna turn it over to you, G. What's your reaction to Bomac getting the last laugh?
Hey man, salute to Bomac, man. Like, I kind of didn't like the excessive celebrating. It looked like a sore winner, but Derek was talking real reckless. You know what I mean? Like, and he had to bring up the Cheetos, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, yo, the brother want to cheat on his diet, man. Let that brother cheat on his diet, man. You know what I'm saying?
Cheating. That's what you call it? Cheating. He stepped out. He stepped out, G.
Nah, but Bomac earned that. He earned the right to gloat. But I don't know, man. It just always seems kind of weird when I see trainers act like this. Because it's like, man, you're not in there you're not the one getting punched in the face. You know what I mean? But where I will give him credit is when the cameras was on and like when they were talking to him, he showed love to not just himself, but to his entire team. You know what I mean? So and he understands. Like, yeah, although TC is the one that's in the ring, you know, there's a lot of people behind TC that makes him who he is. So I could give Bomac that credit, but I don't know, man. The way he was celebrating was just, come on, man. You better than that, Bomac, man. And Derek James, you better than that too, man. Like, y'all should stay focused on boxing, man. You going low blows talking about his late night snacks. You know what I'm saying? Like, that bag of Cheetos ain't do nothing to you, fam. So let my man rock, man. That's all.
All right, Trill, get in there.
Yo, Bomac gets the last laugh, and he gets the last slice of cake and the last piece of chicken. He always getting the last.
And Cheetos if he want.
Yo, and shout outs to Cheetos. I'm a puff guy myself. You know, some people like the crunchies. I like the puff. But shout outs to Cheetos. Look, man, Bomac. Look, talk your stuff. All I know is this. Everybody's so hard on Derek James. Everybody know Derek James is a good guy. This is the only time I ever seen these people get Derek James out of character, especially when y'all ran down on him. If I watch All Access, y'all see Derek James was cool. He just didn't understand where all the, you know, the hostility was coming from. Y'all were running down on Derek James, and Derek James got him out of character. You know what I'm saying? And rightfully so. You know what I'm saying? Look, the trainers seem like they had more, and the crews had more animosity with each other than the actual fighters. The fighters were more classier than everybody the teams was, you know? So shout out to the fighters for keeping it 100. Even when TC got into it with Errol's men. Errol was like, y'all done? You know what I'm saying? This is going to be a great fight. You know what I'm saying? And wheeled it back in. Look, Bomac, this is what I see from Bomac. This is the only thing, right? Bomac, you get the last laugh and all that, but they wouldn't have no laughs on you as if you took your health serious too. Bomac, we would love to see you stick around a lot longer, you know what I'm saying? And you know, and take your health serious as well, you know? So maybe that's something that you can, you know, while you in there training with TC, you can train on yourself too, because you got the #1 fighter, you know what I'm saying, pound for pound fighter. Now it's time to put some of that, you know, work on yourself, you know what I mean? So self-love.
All right, TBE.
Yeah, I was gonna make a joke like Bomac got his cake and ate it too, but you know, shout out to Bomac, y'all talking trash, man. You know, it's your time to glow. Yeah, you didn't when you in the press conference. Derek James brought the smoke to him, you know. So I'm not mad at him getting happy, like, you know, talk this mess about they, like, you know, everybody headed to the locker room, whatever. It's like you poke the bear bite back, but yeah, I can't be mad at that. I can't be mad at it at all. It was kind of entertaining, honestly. And it's always, yeah, the winning side should never be gloating, but there was a little bad blood there. But hopefully him and Derek just put that behind them and just move on to better. They're both great trainers. But you know, Bomac got the edge on him last night.
Bomac got the last laugh, and I say good for Bomac. I'm gonna be real. I don't buy the humility thing. Like, people play like they're humble, but that's really what you do that shows that you're humble, right? So for me, a man's true character is shown in times of adversity. So in times of adversity, it will reveal who you truly are. So Derek James can say he's a Buddhist and all this stuff, but when he was tested, he reacted like a regular dude. He didn't react calm. He didn't react like someone. In fact, he threw the first blow. He threw the blow at Bomac, and Bomac was just sitting there. And then it's like, yo, you take this type of shot at Bomac, and it's not even a fair shot. It's like talking about people's weight and doing all types of things. It's like, it's not acceptable. It's just not acceptable. It's not cool, right? For you to sit around and be like, oh, because I'm skinny and just because someone's skinny don't mean they're healthy. There are plenty of skinny people around here walking around with health. It don't mean you in shape. It don't mean that. They would have called him like, yo, you know what I mean? And so, and there are plenty big people who are in shape. So it doesn't really mean anything, right? To me, Derek James said that to Bomac because I'm gonna put it in perspective because I see through the fake humble stuff. Because, like I said, it shows who you are in the true moment. You watch All Access. What do you see on All Access? You see Derek James running miles. That's what you see. Derek James running miles. Why do I need to see Derek James running miles? I don't need to see it, but I see it. He makes it a point to say that, oh, exactly. He makes it a point to say, oh, I stay in shape. You know, I got to be in shape to deal with the fighters. When he was speaking, Derek James made it a point to say, oh, he got 3 trainers. He got 3 trainers. What Derek James was saying is, oh, I'm in shape to hold a mitch for everyone. And you need a whole bunch of other people to go in there and help you. And what Bomac said was, it's the knowledge at the end of the day. I don't need to do all that because my boxing IQ is higher than yours. And my guy has more boxing knowledge than your guy. So the philosophies had a clash and Bomac won. Bomac's fat, Cheeto eating, Big Mac eating behind showed his boxing knowledge, and his prize pupil whooped your prize pupil. That's what happened. So Derek James doing all that running, being in all that shape, didn't help because he wasn't the one in the ring. And you can tell the things he said to Bomac really hurt him because they were on Bomac's mind. When he's about to take a picture with Russell Westbrook and some other dude, he's like, they talked about me. They said this about me. It's like a little kid who just got it on his mind. And like, even when he was like, F those mother effers, right? You can tell like it was like, and so that brings me to my next point.
Bomac gonna have a 6-pack next fight.
I know Bomac about to get in shape. Which brings me to my next point. Negative energy. I talk about this all the time. Yo, what you put in the atmosphere, yo. It's like I really do believe it comes back to you. So like Derek James may have been out of character just that one time, but that's the negative energy he put out there. Like Bomac didn't deserve that. Bomac, you know what I mean? Derek James, if he's a humble man, he could have, you know what I mean? He didn't need to point out certain things. You know, he didn't need to say certain things. It's already understood, bro. You trainer of the year already. So why you got to point out the fact Bomac got 3 trainers? Why you got to say, what can you teach him? Big Macs and all that? You didn't need to say all that. You didn't need to do that. So I feel like he got out of character. He put that negative energy out there. So now that Bomac's celebrating, talk your ish, Bomac. Because he's the one who put that energy out there. If he would have been cordial with Bomac, Bomac would have been cordial with him. But no, what he did was he went out there, he made it. He made it like that. And it could have been, like you said, Dollar Bill, could have been the stress of the fight. It could have been all that stuff. But I'm still like, yo, in that moment, bro, that shows who you really are, though. Like TC in the moment showed who he really was. And he was a gentleman. TC, like I said, it was just even TC at the last pre-fight press conference when people was barking at TC. TC was like, yo, see, y'all gonna do this, and then they gonna say when we come together, we can't have an event or whatever. TC's like, yo, bro, and everyone's like, oh, you corny, and TC's like, yo, I'm probably older than you, bro. Like I see this from a deeper level. And I'm like, yo, that's class right there. But then you got these other dudes still barking from and then they piss TC off. And you already know, like when you from the street or whatever and you move forward, you're not trying to go back there. But some people want to try to bring you back there. So then you just see TC like with his hands in his face praying like, God, please don't let me ruin the bag because this idiot keeps running his mouth in the front row. So I do feel like a lot of negative energy did come from Team Spence. And we did see a one-sided A-whooping, but it wasn't the one he predicted. So you got to be careful about what you're doing. And I want to close with saying this. Bomac is a big dude. We love Bomac. Bomac's a funny dude. People respect Bomac. It would be nice to see Bomac, you know what I mean, get in that gym. But
Stick around.
I feel like a lot of that his brothers can do too. You know what I mean? Like I feel like TC, Shakur, these guys got to be like, yo, when they running in Bomax in that car, they got to be like, yo, get on a bike, ride the bike behind us. You know what I mean? And they got to make him do some things to be more active and to get him there, because you know the reality is studies, science. You can argue with science all you want. I don't know if you want it, but studies show that you can have yeah, exactly. Bomac only 52 years old. Yeah, exactly. So Bomac, I think he does need some encouragement to be more active. But picking on his insecurities, the way that Derek James went at it, I think was wrong, especially when you're someone who knows you take your fitness seriously like Derek James does.
All right, y'all ready for the slap?
Because your brothers could definitely help you out, man. Shit. I know when I was down bad, my bros relocated so that I can, you know what I'm saying, be my best self. So definitely, guys, if y'all watching this, man, if y'all love Bo, let Bo know.
Yeah, don't wait till it's too late, yo.
For real.
Which is something sadly we do. We wait till it's too late and then we be like, yo, I should have. Yo.
I should have, could have, would have,
yeah. Let's make a t-shirt.
Y'all ready for the next topic?
Yeah, I'm just loading it up. You know, it takes some time.
So, Caleb Plant slaps Jermell Charlo.
I saw Raven has asked us if we were going to talk about this. Here it is. You've been waiting. Here it is.
Nah, he can get those abs. He can get those De La Hoya abs. You know what I'm saying? Or the Bagman Kevo. Bagman Kevo. Yo,
yeah, that's that rapper dude who be getting
Bagman Kevo. He got the ab joints. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, Arla, he could lose that weight. What you talking about? He can't lose it naturally. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he can.
Yeah, he could do that.
Yeah, he can. It's a matter of just changing your diet. Yo, it's a lot of discipline, though. It's a lot of discipline.
Instead of those Cheetos, eat some dry fruit.
Yeah.
Dry fruit.
Something. Carrots.
And throw that sauna suit on.
Now, honestly, the easiest way for him in the beginning is just being more active, bro. Like, you can just, you know what I mean? Because you can get to a certain point with just activity. And then once you reach your peak in activity, you got to adjust what you eat. You know what I mean? So for him, just being more active will get him, he'll get a huge boost in terms of losing weight. All right. All right. They should talk about the fight with Charlo's wives. That fight
I'm
was
about to
better
get
than
into that. I'm about to tie it all in.
We're not showing that though. I'm not showing that footage, but that footage,
we're gonna tie it all in though.
We're gonna talk about it. We're not showing that though. Because I don't wanna promote that. All right, so here goes. If you don't know, Caleb Plant slapped Jermell Charlo.
Slap her around Vegas.
Yep. And word is there was an altercation. Actually, I'll show it to you. So here we go. Let's go. So it started off based on this isn't journalism, by the way, and I'm not claiming that I was there, but people who stayed at a holiday. What'd you say, bro?
They said he grabbed his face, grabbed Caleb Plant's face, and so he touched Plant first.
Yes. People who stayed at a Holiday Inn Express said that it was an altercation between Jermell and Jermall, the twins, and Caleb tried to calm it down, and Jermall grabbed Caleb Plant's face first. Here's some of the altercation, and you can hear what Jermell is saying to Jermall, and it's kind of, to me, we'll get into it.
Yo, bitch ass nigga, show you who's snorting coke. I'll punch you in the mouth. Break your nose. Yo. Yo, in your team, you little crybaby ass nigga. Yo, you little punk ass friends too. Take them with you.
So that's Jermell and his brother Jermall. That's how Jermell's talking to his brother Jermall, basically like called him like a cokehead and everything. So at some point during that altercation, the reports are, I should say the reports, like I got what I'm seeing from online, people who was around the situation, they say Caleb tried to calm it down and Jermall grabbed Caleb's face, which led to this right here. Oh no, this is not the video I want to show. Hold on a second. Which led to this right here. All right.
What the 5 fingers say to the face?
Hold on. We're going to just bring that back one time for the people who missed it.
What the 5 fingers say to the face?
Get some. You ever got me by my
Get some.
Damn. All right, so what you don't see in this video is after this incident, Jermall Charlo's ex-wife and Jermell Charlo's girlfriend get into an altercation. They get into a physical fight. And at one point, you can see Jermell Charlo's girlfriend standing over Jermall Charlo's wife, who's on the floor, just punching on her. And you can hear TC sisters just laughing. Yeah, there's that. But there's been some, my man, he suffered some backlash because of this. So here's what Jermell has suffered. All right, let's take a look. So why is it not? Hold on. All right, here we go. Someone went to Jermell's Wikipedia page and they updated it, and as you can see, he now has a loss to Caleb Plant. And the type of loss was KO by slap. And in the notes, it says lost manhood. So he's now 33-1 according to his Wikipedia page. But the damage doesn't stop there. He was also removed from 78 Sports top 10 pound for pound list. I don't know how he was ever on 78 Sports top 10 pound for pound list, but he was removed from the list because he was slapped by Caleb Plant. All right, I'm gonna turn
serious? Or are you joking?
I'm serious, bro. Hold on.
All
right, Dollar Bill. What's your reaction to that? Oh, actually, hold on. I think I got the 78. Hold on, bro. I'm sorry. I think I got the 78 Sports. Yeah, I got it. Hold on. Let me put this. All right, so yeah, 78 Sports has removed my man Jermall from his pound for pound list after that slap. All right, let's take a look. Here it is.
I'm gonna have to move some stuff around here. Cool Boy gonna have to move around a little bit. Maul gonna have to move around, especially after he got slapped by Caleb Plant and didn't do nothing. Yeah, Maul is no longer welcome on my pound for pound list after that slap. I'm gonna have to do something with him. I'm gonna have to move some stuff around.
All right.
Yo, it was a long time ago. I don't know. I really don't recall. Really, my memory is crazy. You know, my medication is short-term memory loss, so I don't really remember. But I remember there was a situation that people had reached out, and maybe it caused a little rift between us guys. I don't remember, but something happened when they had reached out because they didn't like. what I said about them or something, about every time they go out a situation or something, there's always something. I don't really recall, but I remember it was there was an issue like that or something. You know what I mean? And it came up again. It's coming up again. Like this, every time there's a situation, y'all have to be the ones that's in it, or there's something going out the way. There's something else happening that shouldn't be. Like it's always like the situation. We didn't even give it that much light when you with the Hurd situation, and he ended up slapping one of you guys. I don't know if Hurd slapped the same brother or was it a different brother, but one of them got slapped before. You know what I'm saying? They disrespected his lady or something. This situation here happens with another situation, and they get slapped by Caleb Plant. You know what I'm saying? And he chills. Situation is over with. Everybody goes their separate ways. Then he tries to get active. And while he gets active, he leaves his lady, the only one who stuck up for him once he got slapped, vulnerable, to get thrashed by his ex-wife. Because he was so busy with trying to keep up you already got slapped and you just walked away and you didn't do nothing. You waited till security came and your girl was the one that got get back for you. Because after Caleb slapped you, she was the one that slapped Caleb and tried to throw a phone at him. You relaxed and waited until security grabbed him. Caleb told you to come get some. You waited till all your security and boys was around. Now you wanted to go outside and find him and chase him down. And in the middle of that happening, you get your girlfriend pummeled by your ex. Well, all you had to do was just go there, simple, watch the fight. Like, Kaden gave you some great advice the last time. Sometimes maybe we don't even know if you was in the right or if you was in the wrong. We don't know because it's the situations that you always put yourself in. Or how it always seems like there's something going on. I just hope that y'all get it together. I hate seeing y'all display y'all situations, y'all discuss or beef with each other. I'm sick and tired of seeing that played out for everybody to see. Y'all might as well just have a reality TV show and stop boxing and get money on VH1. Because that's what it looks like. Some reality stuff like that. But hopefully y'all can get it together. Y'all can come together, man, and keep your disputes private. Because this is crazy. You know? Jermall, I seen you get slapped and I seen your lady come ride for you. And then I see why you was around, you know, I don't know, I guess showing out for your guys in the security. You let your lady get sneak attacked. I just think y'all got to do better. You ain't even fighting right now. You were supposed to be the one that was up. But you're letting your stuff on the outside, the ring stuff, mess this up. I don't know. I just hope that somebody can, you know, talk to him and get to him, and before his career is just bye-bye.
All right, G.
Man, I think John B need to relax. You know what I'm saying? I just think, I don't know, man. It's just, I don't know what happened.
You know what happened. You know what happened. Daniel Jacobs, Jared Hurd, Caleb Plant. The list goes on.
All right, yo, it's your turn, G, but I just want to counter that real quick. Yeah, you can say the same thing about Caleb Plant. It started with Benavidez in the gym with his trainer, and Caleb Plant sucker slaps someone. Then Caleb Plant also takes a sucker slap at Canelo Alvarez, and then he just slapped Charlo. So it's not like we're talking about the most innocent guy in the world who has a clean track record. We're talking about two people who have a history of getting active. All right, go ahead, G.
So they must have a slap boxing.
Hey, I'm just saying, it's not like we're talking about someone who isn't known for the sucker slap. Go ahead, G.
Yeah, I just feel like this ain't professional at all, man. It's just, I don't know. And I get it, man. Like, I can only imagine being like, you know, Caleb Plant you know, being a white man, you know, signed to PBC, you're probably always being compared to just off of your race alone. You know what I'm saying? So maybe that's eating at him. Who knows? Maybe people looking at him like, you know, yo, this dude's a square. He's, you know what I'm saying? And he's always with his woman. You know what I mean? So he probably got a, you know, his ego's on 1,000 trillion now because now his woman's there. So he got to protect himself, his girl. So, you know, he's probably just like, I'm sick and tired of this. And, you know, the Charlos, they don't
I ain't taking it no more. I ain't taking
you know what I'm saying? So it's just, I don't know, man. I don't really like it, man. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like this is trailer park-ish. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I'm not co-signing this at all, man. Like, I hope this is the last time we see you like going off on another fighter outside the ring, you know, because now it kind of seemed like, is this your gimmick? You know what I mean? Like, you talk about me, I'm gonna smack you. You know what I mean? It's just like, all right, cool, but I barely see you in the ring. You know what I mean? So you get into more matches outside of the ring than in the ring, you know. So I just hope my man John B does better.
All right, TBE.
I don't agree with you.
8 Mile, sorry.
I don't put all the blame on Caleb, yo. Look, like when you hear the video, he was like, yo, don't ever grab my face like that again. Like when they was pushing him out the door. So clearly, if the slap was warranted, the slap was warranted. But you know, the Charlo's antics, it's always every big event or fight that always causes something in the crowd or something after, something before. And you know, that's just a bunch of raticity that happened yesterday, and like that's insane. Like I'm shocked they still let them stay at the fight after everything that went transpired from the argument with the Charlos, him and Jermall going at it, him getting slapped. Then they girls or their wives, whoever that was with them, was just brawling in the parking lot. That's just too much going on. Like, I don't know what the Charlie, y'all can't be bringing y'all airing out y'all dirty laundry at every fight. Like, it's like you got a problem with everyone. Y'all got beef with everyone. And yo, shout out to Caleb, yo. At least this time, like, yo, he's been getting his slap game's been improving, yo, because Canelo taught him a lesson. You reach out teaching, you got taught a valuable lesson that day. And now he taught Charlo, like, don't ever you touch me. He cocked him, and he got his reflex. He got back for no, you know. So shout out to Caleb, like, yeah, it's the sucker slap, but I don't think. I think he put his hands on. He did. He blessed Charlo that day. He blessed him, yo, and I appreciate that, yo. Because sometimes they need a lesson because they always start too much drama and all of that at these events. They need to stop that.
Yo, the sad part is, like Trill pointed out the history of the Charlos getting into something. And there's also a history of Caleb Plant getting into something. But like the truth is, negative energy meets negative energy, and then bam. So the Charlos, they you see this. One brother says to another brother some negative things, like, you know, like he's gonna hit him, calls him like a drug addict and everything. So that negative energy transfers from him to the situation with Caleb, and let's just say that Jermell's like, yo, I'm not going to fight with my brother in public. This probably never happens because there's never a situation where Caleb needs to jump in or whatever. So I'm not excusing the Charlos at all. But they do negative things. But then there's also Caleb, who's known to take a swing at someone. I tweeted, Caleb lands his best punches before the fight. Because like I said, he swung at Benavidez, he swung at Canelo, got in the ring, and they both beat him up. And now he's doing this with Jermall. And like I said, Jermall should use this slap as the boost he needed to motivate himself to get back into that ring. Because now everyone's looking at him and he's running around like, oh, I got to get my lip back. I got to get my lick back. Why don't you get it back in the ring, man? Why don't you get yourself back together? And I understand that Jermell is feeling like he used to feel like he had a partner in this game, and now he feel like his brother is slipping, and he kind of feels like he's tasked with keeping respect on the Charlo name. But to do that in public, you know, and say what he said to his brother, I don't, like I said, I don't want to act like I just think, like I said, energy. I think like the energy they put out was just so negative. It was met with negativity, and then we end up with this type of situation moving forward. But it's a bad look because you have Caleb Plant, you have Jermall Charlo, you have Jermell Charlo, and these are fighters. These are professional fighters. And is this going to happen at every event? At every event, or the Charlo's going to act crazy and is Caleb going to slap someone? Because if that's going to happen, we might have to ban them from the events if you're Al Heyman, because you don't know what's going to happen. But when all is said and done, I hope this just turns into a big money fight for Jermall and for Caleb Plant. They settle it in the ring the same way Benavidez and Caleb settled it in the ring, and then they can move past it. But, you know, this was probably one of my least favorite things about the event, the Spence Crawford build-up and watching the fight, seeing these two dudes go at it like that. And one last thing I want to point out, Jermall is experiencing some serious issues with his mental health. We've seen him crying several times, and that's one of the things Jermell said, like, "You big crybaby." And I felt like it's just tough, man. Maybe Jermell thought he was ready to come outside, but maybe he wasn't ready to go outside. We'll see what happens, but hopefully, like I said, this just ends up being a fight between Charlo and Plant, and it can just end there.
All right. So next topic is Claressa Shields challenges Keith Thurman to a fight at 154.
Yes, that really happened. So we're gonna take a look at it, and we're gonna discuss it. And you can let us know in the comment section what you think about this fight. Should this fight happen? Who do you think would win this fight? All right. So first things first, we're going to take a look at the tweet. Okay. And here's the tweet. All right. So Claressa Shields tweeted, "I'll fight Thurman," with the looking eye emojis, "at 154. So serious. All the respect in the world to him too. I just think I can outbox him," with the emoji. You know, like, it is what it is. All right. So Thurman actually responded to this. We're going to take a look at Thurman's response to it. Here's what Keith Thurman had to say.
Keith, I don't know if you saw Claressa Shields' tweet just a few hours ago.
I did not see it, okay, but I've already got text messages all about it, okay.
All right, so of course she said that not only would she think she'd outbox you. So what's your initial reaction to hearing this news? And she's going to be here tonight. So what do you plan on saying to her?
Well, look, I can fight for any charity event, okay. We can raise money, and we can let you try to showcase your skills and talent. You know what I mean? I'll probably use my jab only, you know, but at the end of the day, you know, I don't know why you want to gun after me. I've heard you say my name so many times in the past, but it just is this is not what boxing is to me, right? That's not what boxing is to me. But at the end of the day, Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. just fought again a few years ago, right? So if we could do something for charity, if I could put money in the pockets of some foundations, a plethora of foundations, if we can do something to get some money together, and if the fans were actually interested in something like this, it's not really in my heart, it's not in my soul, but for the people and for charity, I would make something like that happen, you know. And I would wear bigger gloves. I would let her use smaller gloves, and I would let her wear a headgear too. Okay, I mean, I don't even want to punch a girl in the face, you know.
Thank you.
So that was Keith Thurman's response to Claressa Shields saying that she would beat him in a fight. Now I'm going to turn it over to you, G. What's your reaction, and what do you think should happen?
All right. Before I answer, please, everyone, please forgive me what I'm about to say. It may come off as sexist and insulting, but I just got to be honest. Claressa needs to watch her mouth. You know what I mean? It's like, this is a prime example of boxing. Nah, I'm just saying, man. It's like, yo, listen, yo, Claressa, you look woke. Woke. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not fighting men, you know? So, not saying you can't, you know, salute to you. But if you honestly think you could beat Keith Thurman at 154, you're out your mind, man. Like, come on, yo. Don't disrespect this man, you know? So, there's levels to this, you know what I mean? Like, yo, sometimes we gotta stop putting these batteries in these ladies' backs, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, and not to mention for multiple reasons why this fight should not happen. And Keith, like, was really sounding like he's entertaining this foolishness, bro. I'm like, yo, stop it. Imagine Keith does, you know, get in the ring with this dude and violates her. Like, we're gonna watch a man really pummel a woman. You know what I'm saying? Then look at what TC did to Spence. What you think Thurman gonna do to Claressa, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, son. That's gonna be bad, yo. So I'm not co-signing none of this. You know, like, Claressa, you'll have an amazing career. You have a lot of, like, you gotta think about it. Like, for a sport that's been male dominated, you have broken through. You've garnered a lot of male fans and support. You don't need to fight a Keith Thurman. What you trying to prove? You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. Like, let's just say you do it and you're competitive. You're still going to lose, but let's say you're competitive. You're going to take all that unnecessary damage just to go back to fighting women? You see what I'm saying? Like, how does this really benefit you? Like, I don't know, man. Like, yo, leave that political stuff outside the ring, man. Like, you don't play boxing, man. So all that talk, it sounds cute, man. And then, yo, look at how Keith was disrespecting you. He's like, yo, come on, man. I mean, I guess I'll just use my jab. I'll give you headgear. I'll wear bigger gloves. Like, what I look like punching a woman in the face? Like, he's literally sunning you right now. You know what I'm saying? Like he's like, oh, for charity, whatever. Like, he's looking at you like a charity case. You know what I mean? And Claressa's probably all excited, like, word, I get to showcase my skills. But it's like, come on, man. Unless you really, really are that competitive, you're going to set women boxing back a couple more years. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't need to do that. It's not necessary. Same thing with, like, I'm just going to say it's whatever. Like, this whole, like, debate with the WNBA and everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, the same thing. It's like, yo, bro, nobody wants to see. I'm just being honest, man. Like, y'all want to compare the WNBA to the NBA. Nobody wants to see that. You know what I mean? Like, y'all don't deserve to get the same pay. Y'all don't demand the same pay. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's levels to this. You know, like, a high school team shouldn't be playing up against the Boston Celtics. There's levels to this. You know what I'm saying? It's like, no matter how hard that high school team performs, no matter how great they think in their mind, you know, it doesn't matter, bro. It's like, yo, y'all not there yet. It's just, you may never get there, and it's okay. Yo, like, Claressa, you have a lane, and your lane is pretty good for you. When you start drifting away from your lane, that's when you make mistakes that could be detrimental to your career. Like, this girl's, I don't know, man. It's like, I could forgive the ratchetness. I could forgive a lot of foolish talk. But stuff like this, and if she's, like, really adamant about it, I just don't see, like, how this is beneficial to her career. You know what I'm saying? Unless she's trying to get, like, the feminist support where it's like, oh, we're just going to support you because you're a woman. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, but I doubt judges, you know what I mean? It's not like it's going to go through the scorecards. It keeps serious. He's going to knock you out. You know what I'm saying? And then everyone's going to look at Keith Thurman like a scumbag. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be like, oh, this dude just beat up on a woman. He's a woman beater. And it's like, yo, like, the man can't win. So
was Robert Garcia's dad. He's a woman beater.
Yo, it's a fact. It's a fact. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, Keith, man, I'd be like, if they would have asked me, I'd be like, yo, don't ever disrespect me with a question like that, yo. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real, man. That's mad disrespectful, man. But it's whatever. Claressa, man, good job.
All right, TBE, man. I know this is your boo thing, man. So get in there.
Your boo crazy.
G, the view and opinion. G. All right, his views and opinions. I agree with some of the points he made.
Yo, listen, everything I said, y'all agree with. I understand people can't agree for political reasons. I understand. You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody had to say it. I'm just saying. You know?
Yo, I get it. It's cute, but like, you know, it's boxing. It's a dangerous task. Yeah, Keith sounds like I wouldn't go 100% with her. Things like that. I give a heck yeah. I only use my jabs. I put myself at disadvantage for charity, which is cool. But you know, this is dangerous sport. Like Claressa, like what happens if he, like, you know, hits you in a way where, you know, he knocks you out or something, like, you know, then he'd be looking like G said, he'll be looking like a scumbag. It's just like, I don't know. Let's just let's stay in our lanes. Let's keep it divided. Like, I don't know if there's female fighters who spar with men. There are female fighters who spar with male fighters just to, like, you know, learn new tricks and tactics. So if you want to make it a glorified sparring match with Keith Thurman, go ahead. But you know, we all know the real deal behind everything. I wouldn't say just challenge him to fight him. Like, that's just insane. That's wild.
There's a few funny comments in there. All right, Dollar Bill, man. So what we're talking about is Claressa Shields. Oh, Dollar Bill's. Oh, he's back. He is back. Dollar Bill, we're talking about Claressa Shields challenged Keith Thurman to a fight at 154. Says she thinks she can outbox him. What's your reaction?
Disrespectful. That's how I feel. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
I feel like it's disrespectful. I feel like it's not a good look. Nobody's gonna want to tune in that. If she gets seriously hurt, it's gonna be bad. It's just not a good look right now. I don't think it is. But yeah, I mean, maybe she's just trying to keep her name, you know what I'm saying, out there, you know, by saying controversial stuff. But I mean, you know, like G was saying, stay in your lane. You know what I'm saying? Stay in your lane. You the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? You want to fight women and be the best women boxer they possibly is. Don't try to go and fight the guys now. We see when you try to go to do MMA, still wasn't a good look. So, I don't know. Just stay in your lane and be the GOAT.
I don't know if y'all recall this. And some of you in the comment section, if you were rocking with us back, well, I predicted that Claressa Shields will fight a man one day. I don't know if y'all remember that. I said she'll fight a dude who they think has no chance, or probably some scrub, and it'll be like a big deal that they'll make it like when Billie Jean King beat the man in tennis, and it'll become some big thing that people talk about, like, see, women could compete against men. And I said, like, it'll be empowering for women. But Shields, Keith Thurman is not the dude. He is not the dude. See, at certain points, and just to keep it so that it's gender neutral, at certain points in the fight last night, I was yelling for them to stop the fight between Terence Crawford and Errol Spence. I felt like Errol was taking too much punishment, and I felt like Harvey Doc jumped in. I feel like he should have jumped in a few minutes earlier. You feel me? I feel like Spence they could have even stopped it at the end of the 8th. As far as I was concerned, I knew that TC was only going to do more damage. When a fight is like that, to me, it's not fun. What makes a fight fun is that a fight's competitive. I'm seeing skill, people who could defend themselves. Like, although people are upset about the decision, you know, and it was a close fight, to me, Devin Haney, Vasily Lomachenko was fun. That was skill. That was great. It was, you saw beautiful boxing. To someone who loves boxing, you saw so many great strategies, techniques, counters, beautiful boxing. I don't want to see Thurman and Shields. Let's say they really fought. What kind of fight is this going to be? Because is Thurman going to have to fight under the rules of women's boxing, or is Shields going to fight under the rules of men's boxing? So is Shields, for the first time in her career, going to fight 10 3-minute rounds? Is that what she's going to do? Is she going to fight in 8-ounce gloves against Keith Thurman? Right? Is she going to do that? Because if she's going to do that, and then when we pointed out, most of us wouldn't want to see it. But then you talk about public domain, and I guarantee you there'll be people in the comment section like, oh, you can do it, Claressa, and Claressa thinks she can do it, or at least she tweeted that she thinks she can do it. How can I say this? The person that I am, who doesn't want to see anyone get hurt, like who didn't want to see Errol continue to get beat up by TC, doesn't want to see Claressa get beat up. But then there's a part of me who wants people to prove that they can do all the things they say they want to do, and I don't want to take opportunities away from you. So you say you want to fight Keith Thurman, and you say you think you can beat him. I feel like it's a bad decision, but it's something you really want to do. You want to assume the risk. You want to step in the ring and fight Keith one-time Thurman in an actual boxing match. Normally, I would say, nah, but I feel like let's let him do it. And I'm going to tell you why I say let's let him do it. Because Claressa Shields is the GOAT. She's the best woman fighter we've ever seen. Keith Thurman isn't even the best in his division. Okay? So we're going to have the best woman fighters we ever seen fight just a man, and we're going to see what happens. And it's something that I wouldn't sign off on, but Shields wants this opportunity to prove that she can beat Keith Thurman. And how many times must we let Ronda Rousey say she can beat Floyd? And how many times must we let Claressa Shields say this about Keith Thurman and just sit around and be like, okay. So normally I would be against it. I am against it. I wish that people could, instead of trying to cross the sports, figure out how to make your sport better. Shields should be thinking, how can I make women's boxing booming? How can I make women's boxing the it thing? So for me, if you were talking about Shields fighting a man in his pro debut, or fighting a dude who we know has like no power, you know, those guys who got like no knockouts, I would somewhat be like, hey, maybe she got it. But we're talking about Keith Thurman here. We're talking about Keith. And the thing is, he's willing to do it. But he's also like, yo, I don't want to hurt her. He don't even want to take the fight. So I'm torn, man, because part of me is like, yo, just keep women's boxing, and keep men's boxing. But a part of me is like, yo, if she really, really wants this smoke, yo, because there's only one way. Sometimes, yo, I realize sometimes people just be barking, or people, and it's like, yo, sometimes you don't know what you're asking for. And the only way, sometimes you got to touch that stove to know it's hot. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I was saying about Earl.
Hey, exactly. So you know what? Maybe we do have to make this fight. Maybe she'll shock us. Maybe she'll beat Keith Thurman, and we'll be the ones looking stupid. But you know what? In order to end this once and for all, maybe we have to let this fight happen.
Yeah, crazy, man.
She could be at 168, but Thurman got to fight at 154.
Hey, man, I don't know, man.
Last
so, yeah.
Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz predictions.
This is the last topic, everyone. And I want to say thank you for rocking with us. Thank you, everyone, for showing up. It was definitely fun. This is why we need them big fights. You see, everyone came out, even the people who want to throw eggs at us and be like, hey, y'all were wrong, but it's still cool. It's still fun. You know, that's what boxing's about. Ned, the TBE, who you got? Jake Paul versus or Nate Diaz?
So my beef with Jake Paul's finally over. You know, I used to never like the guy, but he finally lost, and I finally could accept, like, you know, him in his mediocre boxing career. So with this, I'm gonna go easy. Like, I saw Nate Diaz training for this, and he does not look good at all. I think Jake Paul is gonna knock him out early, probably fourth round. They're doing 10 rounds. Think about like
probably 8. They've been doing 8. So
yeah, Jake Paul takes him out by the 6th round. You know, Nate doesn't look like he's in shape at all for this fight. Like he doesn't look like he could handle any type of rounds in the ring of boxing.
Salute to Slappy Gilmore. We appreciate the love. G.
I don't even care. You know what I'm saying? But if
I have this isn't going on G23, although it's already over anyway. You know what I mean? So you might as well.
I'm like, if I have to pick, I'm gonna say Jake Paul, but because Nate Diaz, this dude sounds ultra punch drunk, bro. He sounds like he's done for. So I highly doubt Nate is gonna be competitive. He's way past his prime, so I just don't see him doing much damage to Jake Paul. So I'm gonna say Jake Paul by knockout. I don't know how many rounds they're gonna do, but whatever the rounds up to, like if it's a 10-round fight, he'll do it in the 8th. If it's an 8-round fight, he's gonna do it in the 6th. You know what I'm saying? So whatever it is, minus 2 rounds, that's when the knockout's gonna happen.
All right, Dollar Bill. Your prediction for Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz?
I like Jake, especially against these MMA guys, these old, retired, injured MMA guys. You know what I'm saying? I got Jake. But shout out to Diaz. You know, he was always one of my faves, him and his brother. So shout out to Nick. But yeah, I'm going with Jake Paul on this one, the boxing match.
Yeah, we talk about Jermell and Jermall always being in something, and Caleb Plant always being in something. Nate Diaz is always in something. Like, I've seen videos of Nate Diaz drunk, slapping someone, slapping cameras. Nate Diaz drunk in an argument. Nate Diaz pushing a fan. Like, Nate Diaz is always in something, but he's, you know, I see Nate Diaz hitting his eyebrow.
You know, bro, it's different, yo. It's different. It's a different sport. That's acceptable in MMA. This is a gentleman's sport. There's totally 2 different standards, you know?
I know it's 2 different standards. What I'm pointing out is that I always see Nate loaded into something. And it's just, for me, that's one of my major issues with him. It's like, if as many times as I see him intoxicated, like, you know, and so I don't know, when you factor in the wear and tear on his body from MMA, when you factor in, you know, all the other things, that he's not a boxer, and I've seen him train too, Ned, and I wasn't impressed. I think Jake is better technically, so I do think Jake is going to win this fight. I think Jake knocks him out. I'll say Jake knocks him out inside 5. So that's my prediction.
Word, that's what it is. Shoot. We was live. We went live.
We were live, man. For all you who thought we wouldn't be live, we were live.
And we gonna stay live. You know what I'm saying? We gonna stay live. No, I'm just gonna close up and y'all can say y'all goodbyes, but please like and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter. Check out our podcast on all major streaming services. You know who we are. We are the Boxing Bros. Thank you for rocking with us. I'm the Commissioner Trill Dollar Bill. That's Cade and that's the TBE. That's G. And you know we appreciate y'all, man, from the heart, man, for rocking with us, man. Yeah. This is a good one. We got another one. You dig?